E, what up?
ITP in the building. Let's go, baby. Welcome in, guys.
Welcome, welcome. House of Mar.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing, man. It's been a crazy week. I'm just trying to stay positive. You know what I'm saying? Lots of crazy shit happening here at the House of More. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the IRL shit has been pretty fucking wild lately. So I'm just trying to stay positive. You know, it testing me every day, bro. That's all they doing is testing me. So
You
that's
got
just
this, man.
right. It's a practice of patience. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I was working on getting my windshield replaced. Uh, it already needed to be done. It was an easy thing to do, but we happened to just happenstance. We came across somebody that was trying to help us out, and it ended up being like this complete headache now. That's just so fucking awkward. I would rather just get it done now. This is now like the third appointment that I have scheduled. They pretty much no call, no show the first few times. Even went so far as to say they tried calling me and nobody answered. But what they didn't know is that like because I was expecting them to arrive, I had literally been sitting in front of my phone with the invoice, waiting. So naturally, when my phone rang, I answered it immediately, hoping for good news, only for them to try to tell me that they had been trying to call me and nobody answered, which obviously was a lie. So I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on, guys? And then like the rep that actually like upsold me on the whole venture to get the windshield replaced at no cost to me, of course. Don't get me wrong; like it's cost me more time and headache than anything.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like dude, like she reached out to me today and was like, "Hey, this is so and so for your windshield." I thought maybe she was like trying to touch base to see where we were at, or if maybe I was enjoying my brand new windshield, like any of these things. And I literally responded back, "Hello, good afternoon," and like 10 minutes went by, bro, and like nothing, no answer, no reply, no nothing. So I literally quick synopsis just dumped. Like this is where we're at. This is what's going on. I'm still waiting on the windshield appointment next week now for like a third time. Hopefully, I'll get a new windshield. I really hope so. Like, wasn't trying to be rude about it at all. Like, just matter of factly, like exactly where we're at. Since I'm guessing you're checking in, I don't know. Literally radio silence. Like they haven't even responded. And the worst part was is like when they initially contacted me. I basically just told them like, hey, I'm just trying to close a circle of communication, make sure that you need anything else on my end. To my knowledge, everything's a go. My insurance has already cleared it and they've approved it. We're good to go. Appointment set, but nobody showed up. To which they called me back, and immediately they were like, "Yeah, we were just returning your call and we're inquiring about the complaint." And I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't call and complain to anyone. I was like, I had great customer service. Actually, I'm just trying to close the circle of communication here and actually talk to somebody because I haven't received any information, no phone call, nobody's touched base with me about following up on the appointment. Nobody showed up for the appointment. Like, and it went on this spiel about how there was never an appointment set up, like all this stuff. And it's like that's kind of impossible because I'm literally looking at the invoice, my copy, in front of me with all of the information, including the appointment, set up with all of my like literally as I'm giving them information, they're confirming that they had it, yet they had no information. It was so weird. And so then for her to follow up today and then like absolutely have no rebuttal whatsoever, it's like okay, you guys are just really making this weird. And I kind of almost want to complain now just on the basis of not being able to follow through. Like customer
Right.
service was great getting started, but the follow up and follow through has been an absolute botch.
And who are you going through, if you don't mind my asking?
The company is like New Vision. Is the name of the glass company? I don't know, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it was an upsell to me. You know what I mean? Like
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can't get Metallic a better headset here. Give me just a
sure,
moment.
no problem. You're good. Oh wait, I read that wrong. Damn. Okay. We have to. I guess to answer your question, Matt, we kind of need to defer to the link I sent everybody in the chat here. Hold on, I'll click on it and see.
It's a tough one because technically, yeah, kind of, but also it could be argued on either side. That's like I thought the same thing about Get Out. Because that could be on two sides of that coin.
You're not wrong. I mean, honestly, at its root, I think it's very much a creature film.
Right.
All right, so
So I'll
Metallic
exclude
is
it
gonna
just
be
because of
playing
the
indie.
ambiguity.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it's a creature film, in my opinion. Respectfully,
What's
I can
that?
definitely see how it would be considered like a psychological thriller though, because like you don't know where he is or who, or what you know what I'm saying. Like you just don't know.
Right.
But it also is
And it's
see.
definitely supernatural, in form shape or form shifting, cloning.
I don't know, dude. I was gonna say it actually would expand across to uh to body horror.
So
Um,
yes, that too.
but
But
I don't
supernatural is it would
I
by
don't know.
definition
I don't know.
technically is
I don't.
something outside of the natural order.
I mean, I get it, but I think we're really splitting hairs because this one is so
Yeah.
obviously body horror slash creature film. You know what I mean? It's a creature feature, dude.
Which one's
You know what I'm
that?
saying?
Right.
The Thing.
Ah,
But like
yeah.
I get it, right? And let me,
Yeah.
the reason I will expand on that to kind of make it make sense. So immediately in tonight's category, with all due respect, we have to suspend the idea of any slasher related movies in tonight's episode. Albeit I respect it, it can't be included because it's literally like predominantly its own category. Best two case in point, Jason as a reverent spirit, and Pinhead, obviously like
Ah,
highly religious, but
very
also it's
highly.
also teetering on what Matt kind of touched on in the H.P. Lovecraft kind of area, and obviously it goes without saying it's heavy body mod, right? So I get where it can blur lines and whatnot,
I mean, there's a
but
lot of movies that are like that though that could really blur those lines.
Exactly. So I don't mind if we touch on it and expand on it a little bit, but like, is it one of the main heavy hitters? I don't know.
Right.
I think that's
So
where it could like it can play.
Candyman and Freddy Krueger are other perfect examples. I mean,
Right.
even Child's Play, Chucky, is another perfect example where it blurs that line. Is it a supernatural
So
horror?
It's a voodoo thing.
Yes,
I
but
think
it's
that's a
slasher.
great example. I think it's a great example, but I would definitely categorize that as a supernatural slasher because he has to put his body into another body. And then obviously, like, he wreaks havoc from there. But you make a great point, and I think it's just good to focus on that because not only is it a mainstay of the genre and obviously a heavy hitter, it's just a great example, though, of how you can really blur those lines,
Yeah.
expand the genre in the best of ways, and continue to do what we're here to do the best, and that's have a conversation, dude. I was telling Metallic earlier, there's gonna be lots of nights where this happens. There's no wrong answer. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all up to interpretation. But I do think it's fair that we try our best to stick to each category. And I think from here forward, just so that it's discussed, the Google category set that I sent you guys, I think it'd be best if we use that as what guides us in terms of categories because I think we all agree that we're really not really agreeing with most categories as they really kind of put baby in a corner, dude. You know what I'm saying? And nobody puts baby in a corner. Like horror film is
Right.
horror film. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't say, do you like this slasher film? You're like, do you like Nightmare on Elm Street? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you like Jason? You know what I'm saying? You like Freddy? You don't ask, do you like slasher film? You fucking name it by what it is. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So like, in that same regard, you wouldn't be like, do you like space film, bro? You're like, do you like Star Wars or do you like Star Trek? Like that's usually how the conversation starts. You know what I'm saying? So
Do you like
in
sci-fi?
that, right? You know, exactly. Like, geez, you can
Uh-huh.
narrow it down for Christ's sake. We could be here for fucking ever. You know. So
Right.
yeah, that being said, in that regard,
That
the categories that are broken down on the little Google classification system that I sent you guys via the chat. I think we should
yeah.
make that our pseudo Bible, if you will, and in terms of how we categorize stuff. And like I said, we're just going to have a lot of times where it's going to blur the lines, and so we just have to do our best to focus on what the actual like topic is. So like tonight, supernatural. So yeah, sure, we have a couple of slashers that fit the bill, but we have to stay focused on the supernatural bit more over than the fact that they might slash a few people while they're being all spooky supernatural.
Right. So that was kind of like when we were discussing the topic for tonight. That's why I kind of brought up the concern
Right.
because it seemed pretty broad.
Right.
So I
I get
just
it.
think that perhaps going forward, maybe we should start getting a little more specific. In within supernatural, we have, there's many different subgenres that are occurring within the supernatural umbrella, if you will.
Absolutely.
You got your demonic, you got your
Yep.
possession, you've got your malevolent entity, you've got your paranormal entities. All of that.
You got
It
your
could all
cryptids. You got. I mean, there's
really
there's so many different
technically,
things.
yes. You can even go with something like that. Although cryptid kind of, while it does fall in the line of supernatural, it also falls in the line of creature feature. So that kind of is
Again,
is is
it
kind of its
blurs the
own little
line, right?
thing in a way too. So I would just say that in order to prevent us from giving us such a wide range of it's basically like we're shooting a shotgun when we should be firing a pistol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got buckshot out there. There's tons. There's so many movies. When I was going through my list, I was like, man, that movie should definitely be on here somewhere, but where can I put it? That movie should definitely be here, but where can I put it?
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that 100% completely. And this may be a topic that we cover over a few weeks, right? This way we can put those other movies in there as well. I mean, this isn't. It's a broad subject. It really is. I mean,
yeah.
you have your slashers. Yes, you have your slashers. You have your vampire films. You have your werewolf films. You have those creature features and stuff like that, right? But supernatural is such a broad stroke that
Yeah.
maybe we should maybe this is a subject that we cover maybe next week as well, or
You will do
revisit
no
it.
such thing. Well,
Uh,
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't mind revisiting a lot of topics. I think that's what's going to make it fun moving down the road. But for just getting started, man, I got to be honest. A lot of these are probably going to be like one hit or quitter. It's kind of like just to give us some distance from the beginning to where we're at now. We're only 4 episodes in. It's volume 4, rather. Sorry. So I think we're going to have an opportunity to touch on a lot of topics, but that's also at the same time going to give us a longevity. I think we need to be able to circle back and
well,
revisit. You
yeah.
know,
Or
And if we do revisit Supernatural, and I'm not saying that we won't, I think that it's a good idea for us to. Maybe not next week, but when we do, we don't do it as Supernatural umbrella, but we actually dissect Supernatural horror of the subgenres of it. Okay, the paranormal films, films revolving around spirits. We do malevolent entities, favorite malevolent entity films, or we could group those with the paranormal, and then we do just demonic and religious horror, as its own separate thing.
I mean,
We could discuss some of those.
I kind of have an idea since I've gotten behind on my horror films. What I'm thinking is maybe something where we discuss 3 films, right? That we're gonna watch for the next time, right? And then we watch those films, and then we deep dive into just those specific films. Kind of like what we did with Aliens.
I mean, to be fair, we've been watching those films all our lives. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
That's why, you know, I tell you guys, you know, when we share this with everybody that's watching live, you know, we'll be discussing AVP or either or IP in totality for a few minutes each time we get together to do this Savage Saturday, because that's what our specialty is. But we're also going to make sure that we have a topic throughout the totality of the episode to keep everybody coming in with a fresh conversation. You know, not everybody's going to want to talk about this every day or every Saturday when we get together, but for those that do, we're going to have a short segment where we kind of recap, especially because I'm going to be bringing you guys more details every week about, you know, the new Predator film that's coming out, new Predator films that are coming out, obviously the new Alien series on its way. There'll be a discussion, you know, every week we'll be able to cover this stuff. And obviously, like, once these properties start coming out, we'll be able to discuss the content live as it happens. We have to wait for it to come out. Do you know what I mean? So you're not wrong. You're right on the nose of what we're going to be. Let that cook a little bit. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of stuff for us to do. So don't worry about not having anything to do that's fresh. Because trust me, they got it on the way.
And by the way, I did watch Prey. That movie was freaking amazing.
Oh,
it's good, huh? It's good.
Yeah.
And I also watched Abigail.
Dude, it's a great film, bro. I'm telling you, like, shit's fucking great. They did good. How'd you like that file? Like when you thought the movie was. Wait, before I get into spoilers and shit, has everybody here seen Abigail?
I have.
Fair enough. Let's just say that, like, once you think the movie's actually over, there's like one more hard turn it's got to make before it's done.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
that's just horror in general. But
no, you're not wrong.
No, I was not.
Of like the killer coming back one more time for one final kill, definitely was changed up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It's not a kill, but it's definitely a reveal that's like, wait, what? Holy shit. So yeah.
No, I was not expecting that movie to be what it was.
It's so fun, honestly.
It really was.
It is.
Like I was expecting it to be more
perfect popcorn horror, and like that's what that is, honestly.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be more like a supernatural film, and it did not turn out to be that way. So,
Well, technically, it was a supernatural film. It dealt with vampires. You want to be technical.
But yeah,
King
I
of
watched
logic over here.
I watched that, and I was pleasantly shocked. It was that was a really good, really good movie.
Yeah, it's on my list. Definitely on my list. There's so many on my list.
We don't
Yeah.
want to talk about lists, dude. Trust me, you know.
Yeah.
Just take
You don't.
knowing that your list is a lot smaller than mine. Thank God.
Both of yours is a lot smaller than mine.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Trust
I
me,
don't
it
know.
is.
You gotta think. No, I'm telling you for a fact, you're wrong because you got movies that you haven't seen yet. But think about the movies that you haven't seen yet, and then the ones that I haven't seen yet. If I haven't seen them, I'm pretty sure you haven't seen them. So that literally doubles. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, dude, I got a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Like your list is a lot smaller than mine.
He's got kind of a point. But
Bigger list.
but to be honest, yours is not nearly as pointed.
That's true. That's true. I'm just trying to play catch up.
You're using the shotgun, and whereas Em and I are more snipers.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost have to be at this point because, like, you fuck around, feel like you see. Like, here's the problem: you see so many. Sometimes you forget what you've watched,
Yep.
and then sometimes you feel like you're watching the same one that you've never actually seen before.
Yep. And,
Well,
and
and
it's
then of
funny
course you
because
have the ones that you really love to revisit, so they take up extra time because you end up watching them a second or a third time.
or 20.
Or in the case of Aliens, the 325th time.
Listen, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many hours you guys have clocked on just like the bonus discs, but I can tell you for sure that I've watched each one in that quadrilogy set at least twice, at least.
Oh yeah.
Matt, I know
Yep.
you got some hours in it. You have to, dude. You have to.
Oh yeah. I've watched the Aliens Expanded, the 5.5 hour Aliens Expanded twice.
Dude, I bet that shit slaps though, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's
But be honest, okay? Like, for those that know, you know what I'm saying? Be honest. Would you say, like, how? Okay, roughly, what percentage would you say is similar between what's on the quadrilogy bonus set and then what's on this most recent one that you've seen? Like, how much of the content is the same?
as far as for with Aliens Expanded,
Yes.
not a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love
These
to
were
hear
all
that. I love to
interviews
hear
that were
that.
done specifically for this documentary.
Okay, that makes more sense. Gotcha. Okay. Dude, that's fucking fire, bro. I love to hear that.
Right.
Hell yeah, dude. That's such good news.
And what's really crazy is that they're actually, um, and my son got me this for my birthday.
Right.
They actually are creating a second disc collector's edition for it that's going to have even more uncut interviews and also a theatrical cut of the documentary.
Damn.
Wow. Okay.
So a second disc, as well as a double disc dust cover for the collector's edition. For those of us that actually backed in originally and got
Right.
got our names in the credits and whatnot.
Let's go after the
Nice.
movie. Let's go after the
Yeah, there's a shameless plug for a completely different company, but if anyone is listening or anyone listens to this, Creator VC crowdfunds and does amazing documentaries about horror films. They also did one about called "In Search of." It's the "In Search of Darkness" films for horror films. The three original were all based around 80s horror,
Okay.
and you've got at least 12 plus hours of documentary footage between the three. And I'm being generous, probably on the low side with 12. And then of course you've got In Search of Darkness 1990 to 94. They are currently crowdfunding In Search of Darkness 1995 to 99. And by backing it, you not only get the Blu-ray, but you also can get your name in the credits. And in addition to that, they also did In Search of Tomorrow, which revolves around sci-fi films. They did In Search of the Last Action Heroes, which revolves around the action stars and the progression of action stars over the course of the years, which is also a fantastic watch. They have a show on it's like almost like a mini series documentary called Terror Bites. That's about horror in gaming, horror games. They also did one called FPS, which revolves around the evolution of first-person shooter video games. And on top of that, they do single film deep dives. The first of which was Aliens Expanded, and they are currently in production of the John Carpenter's The Thing Expanded. So, Creator VC again is the company. So keep your eye out for them. They are doing really incredible things. I am a big fan. My name is in the credits of a few of them, and they're amazing. So that was the plug for them.
Nice.
Didn't even cost them a thing.
Dude, I love it. By all means, hey, and real quick, guys, before we get too far,
Yeah, yeah. 5x5.
Remember, we are live. I appreciate you being here. We have the 5x5 with us tonight. We are live, Savage Saturday. Welcome in for those of you that just joined us. I see you. I appreciate you for being here. So, guys, we are live.
Yeah.
All right. So, not only do you have to be on your best slash worst horror behavior, make sure you plug your shit. Okay. So, if you got something going on that you want people to know about, you know, just obviously, keep it within the realm of what we're doing, but like Matt just did, and I second that. Make sure you share that shit. Tell people about what you got. We're trying to build a safe space and community for horror here, so any and all content that you have to contribute, I encourage you to do so, whether it be vocally or in the Discord. We're just trying to build a huge horror library, guys, so it's going to be the largest
Absolutely.
on Twitch and Discord combined. And what you guys here have to contribute as part of the 5x5, I always welcome it. I appreciate you being here. It's what the space is for. So, yeah, we're just going to, within reason, obviously, make sure everybody has a chance to kind of talk. But yeah, man, we're just going to get into it and have a blast doing it. So, Matt, thank you for that. I appreciate it. If anybody else has got anything like that, by all means, the floor is yours. Please share.
Actually, I just want to kind of add one last little bit to what I was saying. Is if you want
Yeah.
a sample of what the In Search of Darkness documentaries bring to the table, if you do have a subscription to Shudder, In Search of Darkness Part 3 is currently streaming and available on Shudder.
Nice.
Hell yeah, love to hear
Nice.
that. And like we were saying earlier, when he was saying, if anybody's going to be watching this, we are going to be putting this VOD up shortly after the conclusion of the stream. Might take me a day or two. It might just take a couple hours. It just kind of depends on what's going on with my schedule. But it's definitely on the to-do list. All other previous VODs of our first 3 volumes of Savage Saturday are already up and live in the Discord and online. Just keep in mind, you have a very short time frame to catch them live on Twitch. They only stay up for about like a week or so. I'm an affiliate, so they've actually increased the time for us just a little bit. Obviously, if you're a partner, they stay on there a lot longer. But that's also why we make sure we keep them logged in our Discord. And hopefully, we'll be able to kind of go through and double check that we don't have anything that would get any type of copyright strikes against us. And we're definitely going to be trying to move forward on putting up these VODs to YouTube on our end from the House of Mar. You can obviously catch every VOD online through YouTube, ITP, Talon Steel, 5x5. I'm pretty sure your VODs will be easy to access through
Yes.
YouTube.
Because they stay up there. They
Yeah,
stay up
so
there.
they're there. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're trying to definitely nail down the audio. I know Volume 1 is a little hinky. We've only got like 3 out of 5 of the members. But we were able to fix that really fast. So Volume 2 is good. Volume 3 is good. All of these volumes are wonderful, guys. If you're into horror movies and you want to hear what we're chatting about, it's just, horror for fans made by horror fans. So if that's what you're into, you want to hear people, bullshitting about horror movies while you're off doing your own thing, you can kind of listen to us in the background. By all means, please make sure you're checking out ITP 5x5, Talon Steel, YouTube. Make sure you catch up with him. He's going to have the audio already there online, ready to go. Like I said here in the House of Mar, we're working on that part for YouTube, making sure that we're following all the rules.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not an affiliate or anything like that, so.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. For me,
Yeah.
it's basically what it means for those that understand what I'm talking about. Is just I have a rule set that I have to follow. That's not, any more strict than what you do. It's just a different rule set, and what it also means is that it's a little bit looser of a rule set, respectively. And so I just want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can on the up and up to play by the rules with YouTube, because I would like to continue to keep my content on YouTube. It's just the majority of my stuff is all horror gaming related, and I really haven't done any long form content just yet. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm careful. That's all. No big deal. It should be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it just puts basically all it does for me is, a couple hours after the I end my stream,
Right.
it just goes VOD. So you can
Nice.
you can choose that, if you want to revisit this or listen to the conversation a little bit more. watch that gameplay, whatever you want to do. Because I'm not an affiliate, don't have many followers or anything like that. It'll be up there that you can, just watch it.
We're gonna push a lot of viewers your way, man. So if they're checking out my shit, they're gonna know about yours. Also, you gotta make sure and send me. If you can go to through your phone, right? Go to your YouTube and start sending me the links of the VODs. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Like I should have them here. For those that don't know, as I'm over here on the other side of the screen, just off camera, I'm in front of my PC, right? And so the House of Mar has its own account through Discord, and that's how we handle a lot of our business. And so on that end, I have access to the VODs, so I can actually take those VODs and post them directly into the chat. So give me one quick moment. Matt, I see your invite, sir. Thank you so very much. I want to make sure to hit that first so we can get that rolling and at least be in the same room with you guys, and then try to get this stuff here posted real fast for the chat. That way they can start checking out those VOD links. Get that shit done.
Yep, ITP 5x5.
So
in the pipe.
Hopefully in the future we're going to be able to have like a whole nother screen back here projected where you'll be able to see the guys live as we chat. So you'll actually be able to see these handsome faces, or avatars at the very least. So you can kind of put a face to a name, and then or an avatar to a name. Get to know the family a little bit better with 5x5. And,
Does mine have an avatar or a face?
What's that?
Does mine have an avatar or a face?
So what I'm getting at is, so once you guys are able to, what's going to happen is, so we're going to do everything that we're doing now, right? You guys are still going to be on your consoles. You're going to be, chatting through the console, because that's the best for our audio for the live stream. What'll happen is, though, you'll get your phone. You'll log into your Discord app through your phone, and then you're going to go to the voice channel for Savage Saturday Live. And what'll happen is, once you get in there, it's a voice channel, right? So the camera on your phone, you'll have to flip it around, because you know how you got two cameras, right? One that faces away from you, and then one that faces, like if you were doing a FaceTime. So literally it's going to be a FaceTime, only you will mute your audio. I'll show you how to do all this stuff. It's really easy. But you'll mute your audio on your phone so that you don't have an echo.
Yep.
So you're just using that for a visual. And that way everybody that's watching the stream will see the screen as it's projected behind me. This is like coming soon. Not yet. We got time. But yeah, it'll be projected behind me. So they'll see me talking to you guys, but they'll actually see you. So to answer your question though, Matt, if you leave your camera off, it'll just be whatever picture you have as an avatar, and that'll be flashing as you talk, right?
Gotcha.
So that'll let them
I'm
know
with
like
you
who's
now.
talking. Yeah, and though if you turn your camera on, then we'll see that handsome mug you got. That's the only thing.
Interesting.
Your wife's gonna love it.
Yeah.
Same thing for you, Tal. The wife is gonna love that shit, bro.
Oh, I know.
She
Look,
goes, oh, that's my baby. You know
look.
what I mean?
I'm
And
already
it's
up
great.
on. I'm already up on camera, so you know.
Right. But yeah, we're working on. Long story short, I got a laptop that I can flip around and use the camera on that, so you guys can be on stream. Excuse me. But working on getting a projector, basically.
Now, are you going to be using a green screen, or like how is it just a projection on a sheet,
So,
or what?
like I said, I've got like just a Franken setup. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't really know how to explain it without it being convoluted and taking a long time.
Right.
But basically, I'm working on getting something that's going to allow me to project an additional screen, and that'll just be a projection of like my phone screen or my computer screen as I'm in the chat room live, and we'll just project that to a larger source. That way everybody else can see what's going on.
I gotcha.
That
I
makes sense?
gotcha. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Sounds good.
I mean, I'm not tech or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But I've had to learn some shit. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, All you
That's
can
what I
do
was
is
saying.
learn.
Like,
You
like
just keep learning.
if you wanna do the shit, that's fine. Like I'm not here to tell you what you can or cannot do. I'm just saying I can assist and help. But if I'm being honest, you can learn the same thing off of fucking YouTube like I did because there really is no instruction manual for this shit other than like what they tell you not to do, which is like turn your console on and start going live. You know what I mean? Because like it's not like Facebook Live. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different, dude. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's different. So you gotta just take the time, put the time in. Like shit, you already know. You know what I mean? Like some of this stuff you may not be aware of, but most of this shit I'm telling you right now, I feel like you already know.
Yeah. Yeah, most of it I do.
That
So,
streamer
yeah.
life.
I mean, I don't know about it just yet, but we getting there.
Hell yeah.
You got this, man.
Yeah.
We all got this.
Right.
This is 5x5.
Bob, Bob, Bob.
I mean, that's my whole point. A lot of times when I was doing this, like, so for those that don't know, for the longest time, like I was talking to Metallic about it earlier, like I've always been the same cat, right? Like I'm that dude, like, and that's what's ironic is like, in our circle of friends at 5x5, we were all this guy, right? But here's the pitch. This is what the story is. I was always the kid that like watched all the scary shit, right? Everybody else is all excited about like the new action movie coming out, the new thriller coming, whatever, and like don't get me wrong, I was too. I was like, oh cool, new Star Wars, new Star Trek, new Planet of the Apes, whatever, like new movie, dope, fire, let's fucking go. I'm all about it. But I was also the same guy that was constantly watching horror movies. Like when everybody else was like going out trying to rent whatever when the movie was coming out, I still found myself in the horror section looking for something new, just pillaging through it all,
Yep.
trying to find the next thing to watch. And at the same time, though, I was always kind of like that black sheep, though, that like, oh, you watch that? Oh, we don't watch those kind of movies. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not watching fucking porn, dude. Like, it's just a horror movie.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, everybody fucking does it. You know what I'm saying? But now, for whatever reason, like, we're just shaming people over it now. Like, I don't know when it became like the cool fucking thing to shame anybody over anything, honestly. It's just weird fucking behavior. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, all the shit we're talking about right now is not fucking normal. You know what I mean? Like, you want to eat what you want to eat, you want to like or love who you want to love. Like, that's all cool, dude. Like, it's not a problem. You know what I mean? Like, so we're just here to have a conversation about the movies most people are afraid to admit that they love, and that's horror film. So, this is what we're doing. We're talking about horror film. We're having a blast doing it, unapologetically so. Albeit we have to steer around certain words and whatnot, Can't say the R word, can't say the P word, any of the P words. But we can, that's fine, Matt and I had a laugh about it last time we were talking about this. He was like, I know exactly which word you're trying not to say.
Yep.
And God bless you, brother. I was like, thank God somebody understands me. Like, I can't be the only weird horror nut in here that understands we can't say certain shit.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
I get that.
Starts with a writing utensil and then continues on from there.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, man, I can't say that, but you know what I mean,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's certain episodes and shit that I listen to, because obviously, like, I don't know what you guys do in your spare time, but while we're talking about horror and random shit, you'll never believe what I do in my spare time. But I was deep diving on these horror films and shit, and, like, one of the descriptions this guy had of this movie, he was, like, describing, like, what the main character in the film is, like, doing to the other people in the film, and he is just, like, leaving no stone unturned, zero room for the imagination, like, you know exactly what's happening, and I'm just like, whoa, hold on, I am an adult. Like, I just,
Hold up.
Yeah,
Wait.
hey, listen, yeah, because you too far, okay? We need to be using our inside voice, and like, no, yeah, I just cannot. But yeah, you'll find a lot of entertaining shit about people and their opinions with movies and whatnot. And my whole thing is like, I'm cool with anybody's opinion on a film. It's fine. I'm just not cool with like the low level hate and throwing shade and shit. Like, fuck this producer and fuck that producer and they should be fired and all this. Like, dude, no.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
like, unless you're an actual, like, and I'm not even condoning this behavior, like, from fellow peers and whatnot in the industry, but unless you're like another producer or director that's actually got experience and a body of work, you know, respectable or not, I really don't. I can't condone anyone like just outright hating on another person in that profession. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Again, it's just weird behavior.
Right. No, and I
Like, we
get
have the
that.
privilege of like paying and going and seeing these films. Like, what gives you the right to sit there and say that this person should be fired or they should never be able to make a film again? Like, what? Like, that's weird to me. Who has this energy? I don't like.
Yeah, serious. It takes a lot of energy just to be hateful when they could just, you know, use less energy
Why hate when you can
to
congratulate?
congratulate.
Huh?
Yeah,
Like, let's
congratulate.
speak on it. We say it again. Well, that was
Exactly,
the back row.
man.
Like, what the?
For real.
Yeah, no, I 100% get it, you know. 100% understand.
Shit, I overstand. How about that?
Oh, dang.
Where'd you find that?
Where'd you get those from?
So yeah, while we're on it, make sure you check out the socials. Exclamation point IG in the chat. Exclamation point Discord. Exclamation point YouTube. Make sure you're in the Discord. That's very important. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
You gotta bring your ass, okay? I don't want to hear it's late. I don't want to hear I gotta work tomorrow. I don't want to hear the wife don't like horror movies. I'm just telling you, with all the love and respect in my heart, I'm showing a fucking banger tomorrow night. I'm about to message you guys in the chat what it's gonna be, so that I don't spoil the surprise for those that might be waiting for their Discord notification that lets them know what the movie for tomorrow night is gonna be. But I'm telling you now, you don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. I'm not, bruh. Let's stop. Hold on. I'm typing it out right now in bold letters. What it's gonna be. If you can make it out, please know that you are invited. Know that you are welcome. I will make sure and post a link. I tag you guys in almost everything that I do now, if I can. It says at 5x5 in the Discord, so your phone should go off because you're in the 5x5. I made sure you have your own role. So if you weren't sure what that was, that's what it is. You have your own role. I will call you when it's specifically just for you. Whether it be like you also are the only group to have your own category in the House of Mars Discord. It's 5x5 ABP talk. So like all the intel that I get, I make sure you guys get it first, and then I post it to everybody else.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I spoil the fuck out of you guys. I mean, what can I say? I love you, but
Aw.
Alright.
you know,
Well, we love you
Aw.
too, man.
right? You know what I mean? Like, so you know, I make
You
sure.
shouldn't have.
But I do. Isn't it crazy?
No.
Let's see. Yeah, stop it. Get it out. But yeah, 5x5 VODs is another one that I got up there. I got 5x5 AVP Talk. We're just getting into it, man. The biggest thing, most recent news, there has been, and when I say a dump, I mean a dump. Frequently post in my Discord, like a lot. So I kind of built my community a little backwards in that I started doing a majority of all my content dumping into Discord first, because all of my stuff was everywhere. And while I was cleaning all that up on my social medias end, making sure that my Instagram was right, making sure my Twitter was back to where I wanted it to be, and to be fair, X, I'm not really on it. Most of that is for product promotion that I'm involved with, whether it be W Energy, things like that, or just video game content in general, you know, DLC packs and whatnot. Usually, the X is definitely gamer driven. So if you're looking for any kind of gaming intel, know that the Discord is the best place to find that. But you could see some of it on X primarily. We're going to be on Instagram. We're going to be on YouTube. All of our vaulted content, our VODs, our reels and clips are going to be on YouTube subsequently. The premier spot to catch all of our content is going to be on Instagram right now. So as we were building that up, though, we were dumping a lot of the deep dive content that we find. If you love going down rabbit holes, remember this. Deep dives, remember crypt clips. Those are the main two rabbit holes that you want to go down in the House of Mar Discord. This is where I drop a majority of our content in there in terms of deep dives. If you were looking for conspiracy videos, paranormal videos, UFOs, cryptids, aliens, any of this stuff is going to be in those main two categories.
Hell yeah.
And dude, I got some shit in there, guys. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I got some shit. Now, don't get me wrong. It's all to start a conversation, okay? I don't want to get any direct messages from you guys talking about how you can't sleep at night now. You worried about your phone being tapped. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't, listen, we can talk about it, but I don't want to, listen, I don't want you to have to invest in stock with Depends. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that there's some shit going on, right? And so we talk about it. And that's what it's all about. We're just talking about it. Other than that, guys, there's going to be a lot of categories for gaming. We've got some IRL categories, whether they're horror events or just live events that we're doing, going to see movies at local theaters. We've got music spots, music channels in there. We got a place for bangers. We got a spot for legendary sets that we want to share with you guys. But yeah, it's a lot of different channels, a lot of different spaces in the House of Mar with plenty of content in there. We were talking about lists earlier. Matt, maybe there's something for you in there. I don't know. But we do have 2 different lists that we're working on. Actually, you know what? Assignment for you. So just to close out, we've got the horror movie watch list, so that if you're looking for something, you might be able to find it there. We're working on a curated list. Or if you have something that you want to add to it, like you see a movie on there that reminds you of another one that's not on the list, by all means, drop me a note. Let me know, hey, I want to add this to the list. I think it would go perfect. We'll get it added. But Matt, for you, there's one immediately under the horror movie watch list called Throwback Horror Watch List. I think that would be a perfect one for you, just because I'm trying to curate a list of throwback horror films that people should see, like Near Dark, for instance. I had no idea about it. We got to make sure we add that one in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's what that was for. But yeah,
I have one
for a horror film. By all means, add it. What you got?
Possibly you guys may have know about it. It's the Serpent and the Rainbow.
I think I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
The Wes Craven film.
That's a
Yes.
good one. That is a good one.
Bill Pullman.
Yep.
Jake Smokai. Being as creepy as ever, as creepy as Jake Smokai could possibly be in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just watched it. I was like, oh,
Unique
it's on
take
my
on a
list.
zombie film.
Voodoo.
Is it in the rainbow or and the rainbow?
And
The
the
Serpent
Rainbow.
and the Rainbow.
Serpent and the Rainbow. And of course, it's Wes Craven, so
Yeah.
So what was the other one?
Oh, that was the one.
Oh, okay. I thought we talked about another film that had. Oh yeah, After Dark or Near Dark.
Oh, Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark.
Yeah.
Got it.
So good.
I still got to see Let the Right One In. Because there is a campy one. There is a campy that.
There's a lot I need to see too, man.
You gotta finish that statement, sir. You're about to say what?
There is a campy one called Let the Wrong One In.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. So there's another thing we don't do. We don't talk about. And listen, unpopular opinion. I don't want to piss anybody off. But let's just go ahead and rip the. I won't even say rip the Band-Aid off. I'm gonna say we're gonna go ahead and rip the tourniquet off. Okay. I don't do horror comedy, bro. Zero horror comedy here. Like you missed me with that shit. I
Oh,
can't. Like, you know, sorry. I'm one of those, dude. I don't do them.
I'm a huge horror
Me,
comedy
on the
fan.
other hand, I'm down with it depending on the balance, because a horror comedy can go too far comedy and it kind of ruins it.
All right,
But
so
a good horror comedy, in my mind, is more
clear.
than it is comedy.
Horror that has like funny moments. That's okay. That's fine. But
Well,
like,
so let's put it to the test. Return of the Living Dead.
That's fine. That's what I said. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm good with it. Like, you know, classic. I'm good with it. But like,
Okay.
I gave my example. Literally, scary movie. Like, listen, love
That's
the
different.
Wayans.
Yeah.
Love the Wayans. Great guys, but no, like, no. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm also
See,
with you on that one.
I'd say that's a full-on comedy
But my
that
whole
has
point
the
is,
scary
though,
movie tone.
That's my point though. We're disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, and we can't do that because not only are you being disrespectful, but you're also what we already covered, undermining single-handedly the horror hero that saved and revitalized slasher film for the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? The 99 and 2000, baby. You know, Scream. Like, Ghostface was the fucking man, bro. Like, it gets no better. Like, he put horror, slasher horror back on the fucking map. You know what I mean? Like, excuse me, bacon powder. I don't think so. Like, no, we're not going to disrespect this man. We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the only thing. You know, like, there's a lot more I can get into with that. But like I said,
Look at
here, like,
I've never heard that perspective.
Like, nah, we're not doing that, dude. Like I said, I respect their work.
That's refreshing.
Not for me. It's just not for me, dude. Like, I definitely can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But to Matt's, you know, rebuttal in terms of like Return of the Living Dead, like, great film. Like, I'm good with it. Like, to me, I think like it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have, you know, campy horror that kind of like push the envelope of funny. Once Bitten, I think, is another good example where it's
like Vampires in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Yeah, another good example. Like, I think
Shaun of the Dead.
On paper, it's a great fucking vampire movie. You know, and in a lot of ways, yeah, it's got some campy moments to it, but I think it's a nod to what we put up with in the era where all of that not only was not really novelty yet, but it was pretty much a sign of the times. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody was really investing the budget like that into a horror film, not much less, you know, vampire film. You know what I mean? Like, here again, we're talking about one of the founding fathers of horror film, Nosferatu. We already covered it. You know what I'm saying? And just because, like, it's got Eddie Murphy in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, we could get into it. We really could. But it's a great movie, dude. You know, good example, dude. Thank you. Good example.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, great example of, like, you know, horror with some comedy that can be done right.
Right?
Shaun of the Dead is another good one.
Shaun of the Dead is another good example, in my opinion, because it does make my short list of, like, horror comedy. Then because my friends put me onto it, I was, like, willing and open-minded enough to be like, okay, since I know you, and you're telling me I'm going to enjoy this, you're probably right. I'm going to give it a shot. You know what I mean? But it's right up there on the short list, man. So I got, for me, is Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, and I'm sure I'm doing a disservice of forgetting like one more that somebody got me to watch. I'm just forgetting it now. But yeah, those are right up there with like, they're like, you know, almost buddy comedy too. You know what I mean? Like in the best way. It's like, if I'm going to sit through a fucking horror film and have a couple laughs, I'd rather do with one of my homies if this is what we're watching. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
No, I definitely get you.
Yeah, Mayhem was another good one. Oh, I've just brought that one up. With Stephen Yeun from Walking Dead and Samara Weaving.
Not a lot of people knew about that one.
Yeah, that's another one that's another one. It's got a lot of comedy elements to it. There are moments that will make you laugh out loud, but it was an intense movie, and it was definitely a horror film. Yeah, that was a good bring up.
Yeah.
Oh, and she also mentioned The Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray and Kylo Ren.
Oh shit.
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Adam Driver, yeah.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that movie was great. Oh, yuck!
I mean, it literally sounds like they just threw not even like individually, but like a fist full of fucking darts at a wall. It was like, we're gonna pick the cast. Like,
The thing is, I mean, that's just two parts of the cast. It's basically like if Jim Jarmusch made a zombie flick. Actually, who the hell did direct that? Give me a second. I'm gonna research that.
oh no, it's too late now. You done told the story. We ain't got time for that. No, I want to know. That sounds like shit, dude. I actually got to make sure I go back and watch that shit. Damn. I'm going to add it to this other list right now. Hold on. That's what I'll do. That way I can remember that shit. That sounds like what I got to see. Because I feel like I remember the trailer for it, but I know I never saw it. Because I guess it's hard for them to drop a movie with Adam Driver in it and you not notice it because he was Kylo Ren. It's kind of like the Star Wars effect in that way. Like, doesn't matter who you are, if you're in a fucking Star Wars film, people remember you because you were in a fucking Star Wars film. You know what I mean?
That's
right.
You know what's fucking hilarious?
Stigma.
You know who directed that movie?
No.
Jim Jarmusch.
Not ringing a bell.
That's exactly who I said.
That's so funny.
Wait.
I really need some ammo.
He did movies like Stranger Than Paradise, Only Lovers Left Alive, kind of art house type films. Coffee and Cigarettes was him. Ghost Dog, Way of the Warrior, Way of the Samurai, Dead Man with Johnny Depp. Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of really kind of. He's known for doing like art house type films.
Okay.
So the fact that he's the one who actually did The Dead Don't Die, it's kind of it's got kind of that art house film feel with the dialogue,
Okay.
to a degree, but it brings the gore too.
Crate up here.
Oh, shit. All right.
It was a really solid movie. Like another one that was really good along that lines was Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. Also,
Crate
just
up
a really
here.
fun movie.
Then eggs back down for experiments.
We're way off topic because we're talking about zombie films now, but
Yeah,
Right? Don't take long.
it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really does. Like when we get like, sometimes I don't even know if we have a topic.
Well, that's because you're not paying attention then.
No, I know we have a. I know we have a
Get 'em.
topic, but
All right, so what
Yeah, it was.
what was the,
I did it. It was the Serpent in the Rainbow, and that's what happened.
What was the Adam Driver, Bill Murray movie?
called The Dead Don't Die. It also has Tilda Swinton in the film.
Okay. All right, I got it. I'm just adding it to community suggestions under the horror movie watch list. That way, I don't forget.
sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
my wife
looking
and I
for
actually
ammo.
really enjoyed that.
I have no ammo whatsoever.
Dead Don't Die. I'm gonna have to check that out.
They don't tell no tales neither, so that's crazy.
No,
Oh, yeah.
dead men can still tell tales.
Or is it lies? I can't remember. What is it? Was it?
Dead men tell no
There's a Lamb of
lies.
God lyric that's like that. Dead
Oh,
men
man,
tell
yeah,
no
yeah,
tales.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Lamb of God lyric.
They're coming.
Holy shit!
All right, so
Wait, are y'all playing?
Yeah.
No.
I invited both you and them, and y'all didn't even join up on me.
Well, we're in my lobby.
yeah, because he sent me an invite, so I joined up on him. So yeah, that miscommunication.
And I've sent you
Okay,
like 15 invites.
I know. I'm like, should I just quit this game and hop over? What should I do?
No, because I mean, we can't run forward. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be 2 and 2, right?
Right,
Anyway.
it's got to be 2 and 2.
But we're good. My point was.
What's funny is
we need to go ahead and get started with the other shit too, but we gotta start.
we have 2 bots. We have 2 bots with us, so it's a 4-man team.
No, we have
We got
Honecker.
2 bots.
We have Alpha and
Oh,
Honecker.
that's what it is. It's Honecker. That's what it is. I was like, what? We have 2 bots.
What I'm running at.
Wow.
Crazy.
Here.
Shows how often I play this game.
Here, hold on.
We get stuck with alpha and beta. This one got Chewbacca, bro. That doesn't seem fair.
All right, you ready for the last and final mission of the pathogen?
Hell no. I mean, hell yeah. Let's go.
Pathogen. I still need to get to that point. That's so funny.
I ain't scared, you know. Terrified maybe, but I ain't scared.
Oh, you know, it's just another
Better
day.
to run as Demolisher.
Just another day in the Corps, man.
Right.
I love the
Hell
Corps.
yeah. Every meal
yeah.
a banquet.
So as the games begin, as we roll, let's go ahead and explore the subject for tonight. Just for anyone who's just catching up with us, the subject for tonight that we're going to be talking about is supernatural horror films, which we understand is kind of a wide umbrella, but we've kind of tried to narrow it down just a little. And we're going to be talking about supernatural elements to the films, as far as, you know, the reason why we selected these movies. With that being said, who would like to go first with their top 3 supernatural films, as far as their own personal favorites, or favorites that they had when they were growing?
Well, why don't you start it, Matt? You brought us in.
All right, I can definitely start it. So obviously, I'm a little up there in age, so a lot of the horror films that I grew up watching
No excuses. You know what I mean?
is well, I'm getting to that. Is most of the ones that I grew up with that were personal favorites were movies from the 80s. I did try to keep this as clean from like the slasher genre or movies that I've discussed on anything previous, which made it a little more challenging for me to come up with this list, because I didn't want to put, you know, other supernatural films. I didn't want to put a slasher film, really, like for instance Candyman, a slasher film. Definitely supernatural was on my previous list for slasher films. I don't want to have it on this particular list, even though I love the movie. So with that being said, as far as supernatural films, the first one, and what's crazy is actually 2 of these come from the same director, but I will start off with number 3 as far as a supernatural film was Evil Dead. The Evil Dead, starring Bruce Campbell, directed by Sam Raimi. You know, obviously was a when it first came out. A very independent film. Definitely dealt with supernatural elements with, you know, the spirit in the forest with the Deadites and, you know, and people being possessed. So, you know, Evil Dead, and it had a certain element of I mean, it was actually pretty creepy. Yeah, I see your avatar looking out. I don't remember how to emotes. I don't have any dances.
Hold down.
Yeah, I don't have any dances on mine, so I'm just gonna have to do the knife trick. So yeah, Evil Dead is definitely up on my list. My next one is In the Mouth of Madness.
Ooh, good one.
A Lovecraftian film starring Stan Neill. Also has Charlton Heston and Jurgen Prochnow in the film about an insurance investigator who ends up going on the trail, or working for a book company on the trail of basically the next version of Stephen King, who has put out these books that are starting to impact people's psyche because they're so widely purchased, so widely popular. Horror novels that the layers of reality start to come into question. Let's just say it. If you haven't seen the film, make it a point to watch that movie.
In the Mouth of Madness is amazing.
I would say tonight, but you got to stick around for us. So tomorrow.
Good answer.
The last one is one of the only movies that has actually scared me, like deeply scared me, and you know, and that is also one of my personal favorites, and that is John Carpenter's The Prince of Darkness. And some people will watch the film and be like, I don't understand how that movie scares you and whatnot, and that's fine.
Oh, it totally is.
It's one that if you stop and you really think deep about, it is an absolute terrifying film. I recall having a friend of mine when I was younger that had said the same thing. He had already watched it, and he was like, that movie wasn't that scary. I was like, okay, well, let's watch it together, and what I'll do is I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to break it down for you as to what you're actually watching. And by the end of the film, he was like, you're right. That movie was pretty damn scary. But basically, that movie's premise, and if I'm not mistaken, that one, well, it stars, obviously Donald Sutherland. It stars Victor Wong. And just a great cast in the film. And it really revolves around a small church. And if I'm not mistaken, that might have been Alice Cooper's very first on-screen role.
Yes.
In a film.
I just watched that recently.
And if you're a fan of old 80s sitcom shows, one of the gentlemen in the movie was from Simon and Simon, the show Simon and Simon.
Oh my God, I haven't heard of that.
And somebody else was from the show Riptide. Yeah, I'm bringing it way back for all you old heads. Way back.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, a couple of the actors in it are from those shows. But yeah, it revolves around a priest who has taken over a small church after the last conclave has passed away. And there is a secret in the basement that this secret religious sect has been guarding for generations and generations. And this,
I feel like there's always some kind of secret they're hiding in the basement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, this one here, yeah,
crazy.
there's definitely a
Crazy.
secret hiding in the basement. But the difference in this here really is that this is kind of it kind of crosses the board between religion and science. So both the topics of religion and science are tackled together
Yeah, the church love that.
in this film, because the church, the priest has now brought in scientists to basically this a professor of quantum physics, as well as his graduate class, as well as the professors of other scientific departments, to do a study on this item that is in the basement, to basically, in essence, prove the existence of evil scientifically. And it's there's some shared dreams that start to happen. It's a very much a thinking person's horror movie,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely terrifying. So those are my three.
Okay.
I believe we had discussed, you and I specifically, Matt, about just go ahead and doing a round room discussion per question.
Yeah.
All right, so next person up then is just going to discuss their top three films growing up, and we'll continue to go around the room, so on and so forth, until everybody's had a chance to speak their piece, and then we'll move on to the next question.
All right. I'll go next.
Shoot.
So personal favorites growing up. I've already said this once, so I'm just gonna touch on it here. Hellraiser 3. And the reason why I did include that is because of the religious connotation that it has to it, right? Next up is Poltergeist 3. Carol Ann. That whole
Poltergeist 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That one doesn't get. That one actually surprisingly doesn't get enough love.
It really doesn't, and I love that one. Don't go into the light, Carol Ann. Like
anybody who has a deep-seated fear of mirrors, that movie's gonna mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, not doing it.
Yep. I love that movie. That movie is amazing.
And a little on the nose too, because if you want to really talk about it real fast, Mirrors, the movie in general, like no. Like that literally, that's like the last. That's the last one that I watched with that had like that as a focal point. And listen, I'm done. I'm done. If you know, you know. Like, have you seen that, Matt? I know you've seen it, right?
Oh yeah, I own it.
Kiefer Sutherland. You know what I'm talking about. Like, no, dude.
Oh yeah.
No, dude. That movie is so fucking heinous, bro. Like, anyway.
Oh, I mean, seriously, any movie that really, any horror film that involves mirrors,
Oculus.
It really does, like, it messes with your psyche.
Well, there's lore to that, though. I think the lore itself is actually, deeply rooted in something inherent in our past. As human beings, there's a lot going on there. What you're talking about. So yeah, you can definitely look into that rabbit hole if you want to. But there's a couple.
Gotta shoot those.
I got a couple clips in there on that. I'll have to go in there and see if I can't find them and send them to you, Talon.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Dude.
And then my third one is Event Horizon.
Nice.
That is one of my all-time.
Movie. Love it.
That is one of my all-time favorite movies. Sam Neill is amazing in that movie. Just, I mean, they are on the precipice of a black hole, and just the things that happen in that like, it's like an eternity that's been stretched out, but it's only like a couple of hours. Like, it's freaking awesome.
It's actually one of my
Liberate tutte me exemplaris.
One of my favorite.
Hell yeah!
It's one of my favorite Fangoria covers. It's a cover with that movie on it.
Yeah. Nope, I remember that one.
What a great movie.
But I mean, yeah. As far as growing up, for Supernatural, those are my three favorites. Again, you know, it and you can see where I was kind of going with all three of those. It was like very, very spiritual.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, whoever's next.
Awesome. Would that be me?
Yeah, you can go for it. Holy.
All right, cool. Our personal favorites, right? Top 3 personal favorites?
Yep.
All right, so it was much deliberation. Much deliberation. There's so many to fit on. It's hard to pick 3, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But the ones that, like, had impact on me the most, we'll go Hellraiser 4, Hell on Earth.
Wait, that's Hellraiser. Hell on Earth is 3.
Is it 3?
Hell on Earth is
wow.
Hell on Earth is 3. Hellraiser
Yep.
4 is Bloodlines. That's the one where the lament configuration is. That's one in space.
Which I like that one too. Yeah, it has some space stuff, but
that actually. Is,
I'm thinking of
I
4
really like
or
that
3. 3 is what I'm thinking of. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, with the CDs, the CD kill where it throws the CDs and kills that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so epic. Right. And then number 2 would be Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Another good one.
That is a good
that's
one.
a good
I do like
I
that
saw
one.
that one at a young age. It had an impact. I was like, oh man, wicked
I mean, just,
cool.
Just Tales from the Crypt, period.
Billy
Like, as
Zane,
far as
I mean, Jada Pinkett
Right.
Smith before. Well, it was Jada Pinkett at the time. That was
Right.
Yep.
when she was actually still really cool.
Nice. For real.
That I mean, you can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong with Sadler.
I mean,
William
could-
Sadler
yeah.
was amazing in that movie. He's amazing about anything he's in. Then of course Billy Zane.
yeah.
His dog that right there, middle there, motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah,
was like-
Billy Zane's so funny. Yeah, no, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I love the scene with the cross of the relic thing. You know what I mean? There's so many good scenes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of one right now.
And then the Crypt Keeper, just the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, you bitch.
It's been a minute. Right, yeah, you got the Crypt Keeper. You got the whole set. Like, all the sets are really good. Like, I like the way it's shot. It's like it still feels like a Tales from the Crypt, you know?
Yeah.
Which I watched the show, like, all of the episodes.
Right.
So, like, it's nice to have, like, movies. Like, Bordello of Blood is another one. Like, we were talking about vampires before. You know, that's another one of those ones where it's, like, kind of, like, dredging into comedy a little bit. You
Yeah,
know?
I was saying, that one
Like, when
was
you're talking about
okay, but
comedies.
I really felt like Demon Knight was probably like the best one.
Yeah, me too.
Without
I'll
a
agree
doubt.
with that, yeah. Then my number 3 is actually one that, like, kind of creeped me out when I first watched it. Was Babadook.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen that one.
Same, but I
yeah.
love it.
Yeah, Babadook.
Yeah.
My
you
wife
seen
is
it,
laughing
Matt?
because yes, of course I have. I've seen it actually a couple times, and I tell you what, every time I see it, I want to throttle that kid.
Skinamarinky dinky dink.
Nice.
No, I didn't even finish. That's one that I honestly did not finish. Was Skinamarink. I couldn't finish it. I'm not sure what the director was going for with that one, to be honest. So yeah, I couldn't really get into that. But Babadook, I mean, I guess the kid was doing what the kid was supposed to do. But holy cow, you want to talk about annoying children in film?
Now, see, that's the thing. I
real.
do enjoy a good horror movie that involves children. For some
Well,
reason,
yes.
children
Children of the Corn.
in
and-
horror just hits different.
Agreed. But that kid in Babadook, though, hoo-hoo-hoo,
Yeah.
which, I mean, was kind of the point, really,
Yep.
come to find out, but still.
Yeah, but that's one I have not seen yet.
Tough.
Babadook.
Yeah.
But I have seen it a couple times. It's not a bad movie.
I think I actually own it, but I haven't seen it.
I think I watched it like
I don't know
the day
a lot
after
of
I
horror
had
movies,
did
so-
mushrooms or something.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was like
Oh.
it was extra weird.
He said it was extra weird.
It's one-
It made an impact. Let's say that.
that's one of those where it's just
Suffice to
like,
say,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Didn't know that was-
So those are my personal faves.
Ugh.
It's hard to come up with them, you know.
Watch,
Like there's
watch
so
the horror
many
movie after
in
taking
the
mushrooms.
reigns,
That's,
you know.
That's brave.
Yeah, that's definitely half the fun, though, is kind of being able to be like your own self-critic there, where you're thinking about, well, what have I seen, and now what's the best of the best? And I'm gonna just pick 3. And here again, I mean, you can put them in any order if you want. It doesn't have to be, number 1, 2, or 3. You can kind of just, obviously, just talk about them. But either way, it's fine. Also.
And it's like my list, how I did it, it's kind of sloppily rushed in a way, where it's like, I don't know, I don't have all the knowledge at my fingertips, you know. I'd have to go through my like whole collection, and you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to think of like, it's hard to narrow it down, especially with my OCD and like ADHD brain, where I'm like trying to list everything.
Oh yeah, right there with you. I get it.
No, I understand. That's why when I was like, okay, growing up, I was like, okay, I have to include Event Horizon. I have to.
Yeah.
Because that is one of my all-time favorites. Like,
That's
I
one I
love
could
that
definitely
movie.
switch out Babadook for that and be totally fine. Or, you know. Because that's like a super good one, too.
But is that your 3?
Yeah, that's my 3.
All right. Well, Nem, you're on the hot seat.
All right. I gotta pay attention here. I don't want to leave Matt in the shit. Give me 1 second. We're almost to a point. Give me a second.
Yeah, number 3 is like, I just had the memories of watching Babadook. It's been a minute since I've seen it. Probably. It's past over 10 years, I'd say.
Yeah.
Babadook, dook.
Yeah. It was just creepy. I was just like, oh, kind of creeped out by the creature thing. Just like, oh, what the fuck? That's more of its like artistic direction. But yeah, I have on my my personal faves, like crossed out is for number 3 was Blair Witch.
that
And it's like,
I would
really
say
a horror?
it is. I would say that's more like a found footage.
Right, it'd have to be like another
That is
specific.
100% a supernatural horror film.
Yep. Yep.
But I would
I had
put
it
that
crossed
under.
out. I was like, I gotta pick a different one because that doesn't fit, does it?
I would put
And I,
that
like, tried
more
to
under
do it.
like found footage. But I mean,
No, that's 100% a supernatural horror film.
yeah.
This is what
It
I'm saying,
revolves around the whole point of that film is supernatural.
Yep. Yeah, that one hit when it came out.
That would be like saying Paranormal Activity is not a supernatural horror film because it's found footage.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
Blair
I
Witch
guess
did it first.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Like Blair Witch switched up the entire genre because of that, right? We
Yeah,
didn't
we're
know
getting
that
ahead
they
of
were
ourselves.
actors.
Let's get to Nem's list.
Yeah, I know we cut him off.
You're good.
Nah, he
Alright,
was.
So for mine, I got For me, first standout one really was Hellraiser. Like that was like the first real like, before I even really kind of understood the levels that were involved with it though. Like it kind of just stuck with me. So yeah, Hellraiser for number one. Number two, I had Evil Dead. And then for the third one, like I said, for
Yeah.
me it's like more Sign of the Times and whatnot. But I had Final Destination, just because like that kind of, I mean, it changed the way people drive for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know
Right.
it's pretty legit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm
But
not
yeah,
getting behind
you
that
know.
fucking truck.
Right, and so in that, you know what I mean? Like,
hmm
obviously, there's a lot more going on with it. But yeah, dude, like, definitely. And then, of course, you got an icon like Tony Todd in there, RIP. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot going on with that that, like,
For
it
real.
goes without saying. So,
Yeah.
That's one of those ones that I kept on going, man, this needs to be on my list
right,
somewhere.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there were some that got put into other categories because that one made the list. Don't get me wrong. I definitely feel you on that one. Um, but yeah, I mean, you got some quintessential horror there. You know what I'm saying in that time frame. But yeah, just to be fair and keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause most of us know what those films are about. What they are.
Yep.
Matt, you're Matt on the floor. Greatest of all
All right,
time.
so next would be we were talking about what we would consider are the greatest of all time. So, that being said,
Hmm.
when I was compiling my list, I was really looking at not just like the enjoyment factor that I personally have of the films, but the impact
Mm-hmm.
that the films had. So, with that being said, this is why I said we were getting away a little ahead of ourselves. On my list is the Blair Witch Project as one of the greatest of all times. That movie revolutionized exactly how horror films were done.
hmm
Was it the very first found footage horror movie? No, it was not. But it was the first film that utilized a fledgling internet at the time in its marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and also utilized a faux documentary, which we didn't know was faux documentary at the time, uh,
hmm
to promote this film as a true story.
Yeah.
And they bamboozled a
Everybody.
large portion of the movie-going audience. The first
hmm
time people were watching this film, a lot of people thought they were watching a documentary.
Yeah.
They were watching actual recovered footage from these hikers that disappeared in Maryland.
Yep.
hmm
Not very far from where we lived.
100%. And the incredible thing about it was about that film. One of the incredible things about that film is the way that they actually went about making it. One, they did a perfect job of casting. They cast people no one had ever seen before.
Yep.
hmm
So there was no tie to them, in that regard. You couldn't look and be like, oh, I've seen that guy and he was in such and such and such and such. Even movie nerds like myself
Yeah.
didn't see the cast and go, he looks kind of familiar.
They truly got
And
brand new
and
people that have
they
never
really
been in anything.
didn't do a heavy script. So they had certain plot points that they had to hit, but they kept them widely in the dark. So a lot of the emotion that you're getting from the actors was real. The whole scene with them in the tent when something starts hitting the tent and they go running, they didn't know what the heck was going on. They genuinely did. It's incredible the levels that they went to in the making of that film. Anyway,
Yeah.
I could go on, and obviously, it's a hit or miss for some people because With found footage, it can make people
Yeah,
feel very nauseous watching something like that with something camcorder
well,
esque.
the thing is,
The
like,
way
it's
that it
hit
is,
or
but
miss.
it serves its purpose.
It's hit or miss with a lot of horror fans simply because they were bamboozled, right? Um,
Well,
it,
now the thing is that the big thing is it's a horror movie that doesn't have any gore, really.
yeah,
Has very, very little or minimal gore, and it is a slow build that has an abrupt end, but it couldn't have ended any other way. And I
yeah.
think that those that were upset when it first came out, a lot of those, there's a good swath of those that have come to appreciate exactly what the movie was doing.
So, to further expand on that, I would like to note the fact that what we're talking about in a lot of ways a cultural shift of the paradigm, right?
Yeah.
Because,
Yep.
like you said, a lot of people thought they were watching a documentary. So, fooled you
Had
once,
it, yep.
right?
Had it not been
Then
for
you
Blair
get to
Witch, the
the
popularity
theater
of
and you get the slow build like you do, right? So it's like, got you twice. And then to further that, though, by the end of the film, those of us that have been keeping up with about how the majority of the masses arguably may have been duped, by the end of it, if you're still like a fish on a hook, you walk away not only questioning what you just actually watched, but some of you actually may have walked away thinking you might have just watched a snuff film.
Yeah.
yep.
Like, what the
Yep.
fuck, right?
Yep.
So it's very interesting. I think the reason it's as controversial as it is, like I said, to further expand on what you said, Matt, and you, Talon, as well, and that you're both right. I think that like it capitalized on that, and that's what led us to where we are now. Obviously, subsequently, any sequels or projects adjacent to never quite hit the same, but I think like they're not gonna because you get one shot with movies like those. You know what I mean? Like I think that's the one thing that makes found footage a little bit difficult. Uh, Not to say that's exactly what this is, because obviously with Supernatural we're talking about more than that. That's just a portion of its aspect. Um, but it's one of the first ones to do it that has you thinking you could be watching something that really happened. You know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, that whole perspective in itself kind of made it entertaining for sure for me. And looking back on it, like I say, it's one of those where like I remember being in a theater watching that, wondering like what the hell I was watching. Trying
Yeah.
to just figure it all out.
Hmm.
Um, I would almost, in a way, I was trying to think. There was another film that it kind of remind. Okay, I would almost ask you, Matt, if you could briefly surmise the difference between, in terms of like the way because in a way it's so similar, how they hit differently in the way of storyline in terms of Blair Witch to Saw, because you have both of us have this slow build where you don't even really know what to expect, and then the ending is so crazy. It's like, how did we get here? And I feel like they both have that moment
So
where you're just walking away shocked at like, what the fuck?
So I guess the one of the big differences, obviously, is that Blair Witch, the Blair Witch projects, the way that they both do end up with something that's kind of like surprising. The difference really is that Blair Witch appropriately has no real closing. It's ambiguous,
Yeah.
whereas Saw, you obviously got the game over scene. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going into too many specifics, but you got the game over twist, and there is some closure to the story. Whereas Blair Witch, because it was set the way that it was, with that slow burn following these people, the way that it ends is basically the end of the journey that you could see.
Right, no, I get it.
Because, based on the marketing, we already knew before even going into the film that that there were 3 hikers that went into the Maryland woods. They disappeared, and their videotapes were found underneath the buried underneath the foundation of an old cabin. And this is what was found.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yep.
What a time.
you were
What a time
watching
to be
up
alive.
to the point where they could no longer film.
Yep.
So that's the end. That's the end of that journey.
And it just left
That's the end of that
it
story.
wide open.
Well, they couldn't do anything. Yes and no, because we already knew how it ended before we started watching the movie.
Yeah.
Before we started watching, these people disappeared.
Yeah. I guess we wanted to see, like, if something further happened, right? We
Right,
wanted
but
to
you
see
can't
how they
get the-
disappeared.
Right.
But that in
Well,
itself
to a
is so
degree. Okay, so spoiler alert, please turn away if you haven't actually watched the Blair Witch Project. If you've kind of been under a rock and haven't actually seen the Blair Witch Project. They discuss earlier in the film, very early in the film, when they're getting the backstory of Rustin Parr, the old hermit that lived out in the woods, and how he would abduct the children, and he would kill one while he made the other stand in the corner, facing the wall.
Mhm.
What happens at the very end of that movie? You
Yeah.
have her coming down the steps. The camera drops as you see somebody standing in the corner facing the wall.
Yeah.
It's exactly what was described earlier in the film.
right.
So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of ambiguity. They died. So it's just you're not getting all of the gory details, and
Right.
and I think Blair Witch really played on, the old school horror method of the less you show, the scarier it will be.
Yep. Yeah, I
And
100%
Blair Witch
agree
was
with that.
was actually an extremely scary movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Mainly 'cause we thought it was
atmospheric,
real.
It was scary. You were watching. You were with them during their descent into madness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But mainly because you thought it was real. Like that was the
That's
the
the
marketing
added
on
extra
that was
element.
so the marketing on that was so precise.
Brilliant.
Precise.
It was brilliant.
It really
It
was.
revolutionary.
And it was like
The first hype
we
beast.
thought that it was real. Like it wasn't until years later that we found out, oh no, those were actors. Right?
Right.
Once
Once Joshua Leonard started being in other movies, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh.
yeah.
Or the
Well, Heather
second one came
Donahue
out.
did some stuff after.
Or when the second
well.
one came out.
Well, no, not really, because the second one actually had the first one as real. Or no, the second one came out, because it was about the first one. It was
Yeah.
people that loved the first one,
Yeah.
which some people shit all over that movie,
Yep.
and I actually
I
really
liked
enjoy
it.
that too.
I liked it, yeah. I was going to put that on
me
there.
it introduced me to Jeffrey Donovan, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I dug the little, pause moments in it.
All right.
Oh yeah,
So that was your first greatest of all time. What is your
yeah,
second?
first greatest of all time, The Exorcist.
Ooh.
Enough said. I don't even know if I need to even explain why.
Yep.
I mean, I really don't think that really too much of an
Anybody
explanation.
who is a
Um,
horror head understands what The Exorcist is. Like the original Exorcist.
It's quite possibly the scariest film ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and while it had a horrible sequel, Exorcist 2, The Heretic, not so good. But The Exorcist 3, man, they got it back. That movie was
Yeah,
great too.
that movie was really good. It almost,
And the
I'll be
show,
honest with you, it almost
the
made
show
my
that they did
favorites
was really
growing
good.
up.
So it's kind of weird with the Exorcist films because they just kind of kept going. So you have the first one, which all-time classic, one of the best, and then you have.
Dog.
I got you. I got you.
I'm just saying, dog.
I think I might have just watched the
Oh
third
yeah, there you
Exorcist.
go. And then they had a bad sequel with Exorcist 2 that did not live up to it. Then
really
they came back
didn't,
with
right.
Exorcist 3, and then they kind of tried to do another one, and then they realized they kind of flubbed it, so they put it out kind of twice with 2 different cuts. So you got Dominion, the prequel to The Exorcist, as well as Exorcist the Beginning, which are the same damn movie, just cut differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Same cast. And then they did Exorcist Believer, which was
I haven't even seen that one.
Have I seen that
really.
one?
I mean, it really
I
wasn't
might
that
have
great.
seen it.
To
I
be
might have
honest,
seen it and
it
then
was
just like
disappointing.
forgotten about it. Repressed memory.
That one was disappointing. But the Exorcist show, the 2 seasons that they did of the Exorcist show were amazing.
Yeah, that's because they blew their wad on this show.
But when you have a juggernaut like The Exorcist trying to follow that up, you're never going to be able to live up to that standard.
Right.
So,
Again,
or the shock factor of that film.
Again, greatest, one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely.
All right, and so the last one I'm going to say could be a little controversial.
Oh, we love that.
Because some could consider this on the fringes of supernatural horror. But I'm going to talk about another movie that kind of changed the game. That's Get Out by Jordan Peele.
I own that. I have not seen it.
I would consider that one of the greatest of all time. Absolutely. Changed the game. So the reason why my argument as far as why I would consider that a supernatural horror is because of while it's not the chief theme of the movie, it definitely has a lot of elements to it. Because, I mean, kind of the whole point, I mean, obviously you're dealing with a lot of social issues revolving around, racism and slavery. But in the film, you literally have people utilizing mind control and actually inhabiting other people's bodies. There's a supernatural element to it there.
Right.
So I would definitely consider that a supernatural film, and it blew open the doors for black horror filmmakers to actually make horror films that had a message that did not, and not just black horror filmmakers, but it opened the door for a lot of black horror filmmakers to actually get their films made, which hooray. Because there's all sorts of different stories that can be told that come from that culture that need to be heard. But not only that, but it allowed filmmakers in general to actually make movies that had a message that wasn't overbearing in the film, but you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about, but it's not in your face. It's not beating you up.
You got the impression.
Where that is the primary focus of the movie is trying to make you feel a certain way. They're letting the movie go where it wants to go and let the message come to you during the movie, not the movie driving the message. The movie drives the message, not the message is driving the movie.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and Jordan Peele, where the hell did he come from? Because when I first heard about Jordan Peele making a horror film, I was like, the dude from Key and Peele?
Right. I was like, what?
It's like Aloysius. What? I'm trying to think of one of the football things. Aloysius Kermufflepupple. You know, it's like. I mean,
Hey,
the comedy
Ron.
was great.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, Key and
The
Peele,
comedy was great,
legendary
but
comics.
I was not expecting what I got. And to be honest, Jordan Peele has not missed yet. Us was another one, supernatural horror that had message, but man, blew my socks off. And Nope.
Listen,
Well,
Yeah,
talk
nope.
about it. Let's talk. How are we in the House of Mar? We're talking about Nope. Let's go. I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying, Ron.
Haven't seen it yet. Stop it.
Bruh.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't
Oh,
seen
my
any.
goodness.
I haven't seen any of Jordan Peele's movies, and I really, really want to.
Oh, dude,
I know,
you gotta
I
You haven't
know,
seen Get Out?
I know, dude. I know. Like I said,
You
I
haven't
own it,
seen
but I
Get
haven't
Out?
seen it. I own it, but I haven't seen it. I know.
Oh man,
Dude, I'm so
that
far
needs
behind.
to be high up on your list to watch. I'm telling you right now, even wifey would not have a problem watching that. There's not
It's
a lot
gonna
of
go-
gore.
You got your watch list, and then you got your must-watch list. That one's gotta be on the must-watch list.
Right?
I got you, man.
priority.
I will get right on that. As a matter of fact,
It's a refreshing take.
I'll probably wind up watching it on the beach.
Right. It goes from assignment to
Hey.
like direct order. You know what I mean?
Paula.
Assignment to order, huh?
It went from assignment to direct order. Yeah.
I got you.
Like assignment is just like hanging out with us. Direct order is the shit wifey tells you to do. You know what I'm saying? So this is like direct order. You gotta watch this film. But, yeah.
Agreed.
All right, I'm gonna have to start watching these fucking movies, man, because y'all are raving about them.
Now listen, I mean, this is what we always say, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, so that everybody knows when we're listening here, full disclosure, if you're listening to us, we appreciate you being here, but like, you watch it when you can, man. I mean, everybody's busy, we got life going on and shit. We just give you shit because you got like a lot of shit to catch up on, but we've all been there too. There's always going to be some of us that are just missing out on a franchise. There's nothing personal. We just haven't seen it yet. Like literally, I've seen maybe. I might be being generous here, but I think I've seen at least 3 Will Ferrell movies, right? I've missed a lot of them. And people look at me like, what? But it's like, hey, number one, nobody said I've watched Will Ferrell movies, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I get it. That's kind of a comedy icon, and it was a time where he had a lot of movies out. Everybody was watching them. I get it. I was in the kitchen working, so I didn't watch those. I'm the horror guy, so yeah, I definitely wasn't watching like buddy comedies and shit. Like, but don't get me wrong, hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Funny movies, but there's a lot of them I haven't seen.
Word. There's a lot of
Holy
comedies I haven't
shit,
seen either.
Why is the ground shaking, dude?
I've probably seen
I forgot
more.
about this part.
I've probably seen more comedies than I have horrors at this point.
Right. Well, that I get, because it's easy to kind of sit back and watch those, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can join in and watch, you know what I mean? No big deal, but horror movies take dedication, take time.
They really do, and I feel like I've been left out. Now, don't get me wrong. My wifey can watch zombie movies all day. She can watch like action. Like she watched Prey with me, and she was like, "How is that horror?" Like
that's a good movie though, too. Though that's the thing. Like that one kind of blurs the line. Like that's literally like one of the best Predator films of all time, dude. Like it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. And she sat there.
Did a good job.
Bro,
Like she sat there and watched that with me the whole way through last night, and she like that to me is not horror. It's like, well, you know, she's like, that's action. So you know, it as long she doesn't get scared. If she doesn't get scared during the movie, it's not horror. Basically.
Basically, she's not gonna be able to watch any of this shit I'm about to send you on a mission to watch.
All right, so my greatest of all times. Matt has already mentioned it, The Exorcist. I don't think I have to go any further than that.
Right.
You know, because you know it's The Exorcist. Right. Rosemary's Baby is one of my favorites of all time. Is one of my greatest of all time. You know, demonic baby coming into the world. You know, signaling the end of days. Like that is. I don't think I have to explain everything, but Rosemary's Baby is one of the greatest of all time because it does. I mean, the end of days really does scare a lot of people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I mean,
Roman Polanski.
Having that as a theme of a movie like that's crazy. Right? And then the original 13 Ghosts. The black and white. I love that movie. I think that's one of the greatest of all times because it's really one of the first ghost movies of all time. Without 13 Ghosts, I don't think we would have Paranormal Activity or Poltergeist or any of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
If I'm not responding, it's because we're in the middle of a big fight.
I gotcha. So yeah,
get them.
Those are my 3 greatest of all times. Again, I think they are genre defining. So. Oh wait, what? Matt. I think we lost Matt.
Uh-oh. That's no good for me.
Alright.
Oh no, you're all alone.
It won't let me refill my ammo neither. I think I'm about to get bumped from this match.
Alright, what is your combat rating there, fan?
I don't know.
So if you go into
let's see.
If you go into settings and you go into loadout, combat rating is going to be on the bottom right.
176.
Okay, so we need to increase that. So you need to go.
Combat rating's over 9,000.
You need to go into.
Yeah, it's real big. That's all I can say.
You need to go into. You need to go into your loadout under perks. And start using some of your core and modifiers.
I use my missiles and my seismic charges.
Right. So what modifiers do you have available?
I'm using missiles and field charges.
No, under perks.
Charges.
Under perks.
Are they Scud missiles?
So underneath your underneath your secondary should be perks.
Oh yeah, what do you keep under your secondary? Like, what's in your wallet? What's in your secondary?
And if you go in there, you can
micro
actually...
rockets, blast wave, clear the room.
Hold on, language.
All right. So you have. Do you have any? So on the right there, you should have core and modifiers, right?
Mhm.
So is anything lit up there? Like, is anything? Because you have the dark stuff that you can't use, and then you have the lighter stuff that you can. Right? if you drag one of those over to the area
Mm-hmm.
like right here in the center, see where it says unlocks at 3, unlocks at 3, unlocks at 5, 7, 5, 4.
Yeah.
All right. So if you actually look on some of those ones that you can equip, right? It tells you what it does, and then it tells you what the combat rating is. So you can actually increase your combat rating by adding those modifiers.
Okay.
Because you got
Alrighty,
to
I can
get
do that.
to go on to the next campaign story, which is Giants in the Earth. You have to have a combat rating of 250.
You have to have a combat rating of 250.
Combat rating of 250, and you're at 175, so you only need 75 more.
I think that's all I could do. Let's just put one on here. I thought I was going to be able to do more, but only one modifier. That's alright.
What about your core?
Hardcore, always. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, always hardcore.
Always
Marines,
hardcore.
baby. Space Marines, but Marines.
We're always hardcore.
I'm high powered. Drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Alright. I'll tell you what. I will be right back while...
I got no explosions. Well, I got this one. Hold on, I got this.
I'll be back while Matt is working on his thing, and I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Considering I can't smoke inside, so
Cut it out.
I'll be back.
You like that, huh?
Nice. Chaboom.
That's as close as I got. You know what I mean?
That was a kaboom. That was a
got
pretty
this
good
guy.
kaboom.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I got Mark Hamill. You know what I'm saying? We got some, a little boo action here. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. I like your soundboard.
You know what I mean?
You got a soundboard.
Yeah. Actually,
Aww.
believe it or not, I'm trying to commit them to memory, but at the same time, I kind of want to label them because they're all like hotkeys.
Yeah. I'd label them. I would have to label them.
Now, some of them, they are labeled already, and they are like on a separate soundboard. But like I said, the way I got this thing built out, like there's just gadgetry everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a Frankenstein setup, and I love him. He's fucking awesome. But yeah, like got this guy here. That's one of my favorites. I love the thunder, dude.
Yeah, dude. Gotta have the thunder.
But,
The thunder. Do you feel the thunder?
you know what I'm saying? I got my own music right now. I gotta turn that down a little bit. I thought I keep turning it down and it keep getting louder somehow.
Little small adjustments here and there.
That's all it is. Everything is done kind of on the fly, so I'll
Yep.
find it.
Just gotta just go for it.
Keep better control of it that way.
I know I want to get into that, dude. That seems like it'd be a lot of work, but it'd pay off.
Yeah.
You know, not like necessarily money wise right away, but like just doing something fun and just like yes. You do it for the culture, you know, to put something out that somebody's gonna want to watch. Actually,
Right.
you know, doing it for the right reason.
The reality is like everybody's gonna they're gonna have like the same likes and whatnot, and like that's what you're looking like. I'm looking for more people like us. It's weird
Yeah.
to sound the same. Like
Yep.
this is the most generic way I can say it. Like,
Us.
people are gonna immediately
One
identify
of
with.
us.
Yeah, exactly. But like if you're horror all the time and you like games and you love art, you know what I'm saying? Then like boom, like
Stop on by.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Hit that like button and subscribe.
What I miss?
You know what I mean?
I
Not
died.
much. He was just talking about like
No, I'm just
the
kidding.
possibility of like wanting to get into like streaming and all that, and doing that part. It's like I told him, like anybody can do it. Really, it's not really about, but it's not about like doing it for money. If that's why you're getting into it to like make money right out of the gate or whatever, like no pressure. But we're talking like I don't know, Kai Cenat and shit like that. Like that's what Mr. Beast. That's where you're headed. But you gotta do that like right now. And mind you, one of them is a millionaire, so it's like no pressure. But and I'm not saying like do what they do or any of that shit. I'm just simply saying like you gotta be focused on doing it like because it's fun for you.
Yeah.
Like for me, for instance, like I said, I just typical Aries. I got a lot of shit going on all the time. So I just had to get all of my shit under control and focused on one fucking thing. It's for me that was like being able to kind of share what I have to contribute in my art and whatnot. Through this space, this platform, and generally that's what I'm focused on doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying
Through
to
this
share.
tight focus.
Right. So now all the artwork that I've got that I'm working on goes through that Instagram. All the games and shit they got going on goes through that Instagram. The horror stuff that I work on with you guys and outside of that goes through. You know what I'm saying? It's all through that one channel.
Right. It's all through House of Mar.
Right, and I just subsequently tried to make sure and share that on multiple platforms when I can, obviously, because like you said, it's a lot of work. And I, definitely got in my own way in the beginning by taking on too much. So I had to kind of dial it back, dial it in, and then move forward. Because you definitely always want to be striving, keeping it moving, keeping yourself busy and working and getting it out there.
Right, achievable steps.
Right, but it's also I think important to pace yourself because there's no rush. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a marathon than it is a race. Now don't get me wrong. You start doing your shit and you start blowing up because motherfuckers love what you do it the way you do. Then shit, that's all the better. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess that's the idea.
Yeah. Possibility.
But yeah, a lot of people just have this idea that like you should have come home one day, turn the console on or turn the PC on, go live, and boom, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You're on the nightly news, film at 11. It's like, nah, it doesn't really work that way. You know what I'm saying? There's actually a very short, small list of people that did it. Like that's,
Yep.
the embodiment of the American dream these days, I suppose. But for me, I'm just trying to share my art and share the love of horror and do it in a way where it's fun. Right now, it's just us.
It's recreation.
Right, but I appreciate the handful of people that are, basically layman's terms, fuck with me, and they're out here, checking out what I'm doing and showing the love and whatnot. Like, all that means a lot. It gets me very, very far in terms of what I want to do. But at the same time, like, I'm not out here trying to prove anything to anybody.
Awesome.
Like, I'm just sharing my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Just being
you.
Dude.
Yeah, just keeping it positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, so far, I could tell you the ways that I've seen, like, immediate improvement in terms of like being able to share that and creating that platform, but there's also been a lot of hard work behind the scenes that nobody's really ever going to see or hear me talk about just because like it's just a place I've been, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a journey, everybody's got a story. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I switched my
wind?
headset.
Is there wind?
Hello?
Are you blowing away?
Hello?
No,
Is there a storm?
I just switched my headset.
Oh.
It sounds like there's a storm.
Yeah.
Really?
Just for a second there, nothing serious. Man.
I
I actually probably wouldn't have noticed it if the topic hadn't mentioned it, but I was just like, you got a point. There's kind of a little bit of wind there, but
a little thunder.
But when you said, you had switched over headsets, I've been there. I've had, yeah, I get it. I'm all right.
Because I was using my controller, but now I'm actually on a headset.
Ah.
I thought it was my whistle snout.
That can be arranged.
Well, we could try this again.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah.
Whoa.
All right, so where were we on
Supernatural.
the list?
Are you feeling supernatural?
Whose turn was it? That's where I'm at. Who?
I can't remember. Did we pass it to the left or did we pass it to the right?
Wait, we were talking about greatest of all time.
Right.
Yeah, goats.
But
I started it.
that's right. So we were at Talon. We were at Talon. And he was talking about The Exorcist. What else did he say?
Yeah.
All right, I'm
no.
back.
I thought that was
Oh, he's back.
So he left in the middle of giving us his goats.
it.
No,
Finishing
I
it.
went through.
Okay.
Okay, what was your third one?
My third one was the original 13 Ghosts.
That's right. Okay. Yep.
And you had that, The Exorcist, and what else?
Rosemary's Baby.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So then it's on you, Nem.
Whoa.
No,
whoa.
no,
Salacious accusations. Sir.
I think your brother would be next.
Oh yeah.
Me?
Oh
Yeah.
Well, we're going
you haven't
again.
gone.
We're on the watch list now.
No,
We're
this
on
is
the
this is
greatest
all
of all time.
greatest of all time.
Oh
the
yeah,
goat.
I haven't done mine. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, my goats. All right, okay. So number one, of course, it's The Exorcist. Of course. Yeah, that was
I
like
love it
the
when this
first,
happens, dude. Like,
the first one I came up with. You know, I remember seeing that as a kid too,
Right.
like a little kid. I mean, like probably shouldn't have saw that at that age, but you know what? I had cool
No,
parents.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly.
And yeah, that one changed the whole game of everything. And yeah, just like you could say that's one of the scariest movie ever. Just like how its impact was, you know.
Right.
And so Exorcist would be number one.
Not to mention
Number
the
two.
grittiness of it.
Yeah, the grittiness, and it was like something that's like the supernatural, where it's like just like out of the realm of reality, where it's like it seems like this is all in real terms,
Well,
like
it's
something
based
that
on
could
a true
happen.
story.
Yeah, it's based on a true story, and it's laced into reality already, and it's just like makes it that much scarier, you know? It's like things people believe already, you know?
Yep.
Extra scare.
Weird.
Then my number two would be Hellraiser. The first one, because it paved the way for all the rest. It's just like, it's just. I feel like that is one of the greatest horror movies, little legacies. Just the Hellraiser series. I haven't really I've loved all of them, even the bad ones. Like they're not bad in my book.
There you go. I like a good save. As a good save.
Yeah,
I like a
because it's like
So
It's like-
here's.
they're
So
good in
let
their
me
own right.
interject for one moment on that, actually,
Yeah.
because the Hellraiser franchise is basically really the first 4 films, and then after that, they didn't actually write or create an actual Hellraiser films. They took existing scripts and kind of put Pinhead into the story. So that's the reason why some of the
They're not like the
ones
originals.
out there, in the later in the franchise, don't seem to feel the same way as the first few.
Yeah.
Like
So I wouldn't
Inferno.
necessarily say they were, like Inferno,
Which I like
Hellworld,
Inferno.
Hellseeker, all of those films.
And I like all those. Like, watch them as a kid.
Oh, so do I. Now Judgment. So there was the Hellraiser, the first one that did not have Doug Bradley as Pinhead.
Yeah.
That one didn't quite hit as well. I just don't think that the performance, the actor who was playing Pinhead was, I mean, obviously had a huge shoes to fill in the first place, but
Poor guy.
even so. It didn't seem he didn't do justice. Now Hellraiser Judgment, the most recent one, also did not have Doug Bradley, but it was a completely different actor from the previous one, and I actually really enjoyed that one a lot more. I thought it was a really solid Hellraiser film.
Yeah. And that was the one on Hulu, right?
It might be.
No, that was a different one.
Oh
That was the
no,
one
yeah.
with the female lead.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a female Pinhead.
Yeah, it was fucking
Yeah,
amazing.
that I also really enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
It's just
But-
the legacy slaps. Let's just put it that way. It's just super good. Like the art behind it, the practical effects, the lore behind it all, like it's just so rich and interwoven, and I really like it. You know, it's one of my what I feel is the second greatest of all time. And then number 3 would be Poltergeist. Because it's I put the first ones on here because they paved the way for the other movies. Even though, like, say, like Hellraiser, like I like the Hell on Earth one the best, but Hellraiser, like, it's just there wouldn't be the second one without the first one. And then same thing goes with the Poltergeist. You know, I think some of the sequels are pretty scary too. I saw some of the sequels first before I watched the original. You know. And I had to put the original on here because it was one of those times when that movie came out. It was like, holy shit, this is scary, you know. Like you think twice when you have this static going in your house on your TV.
Yeah,
it's just going static.
We don't ever have anymore.
Right.
You know, it's something from a lost time.
Yep.
But you get that like static going, or like a lights flicker, or like something weird happens. The tree is scratching at your window. Yeah, those are my goats.
If you mentioned that, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole. That white noise, just.
So, like, quick side note, you know, it's kind
Speaking
of like
that's a good movie.
A little bit of
Forgot about that
a
one.
teaser there, in that, you know, for those that may not frequent the Instagram page recently, there's been a little bit of an update and change, just in that the way we're kind of doing the page right now is we're sharing our content in the form of channels. And so if you're familiar with kind of what Talon's talking about, and everybody's pretty much kind of touching on it really throughout each one of these episodes, it's like it's been fun to kind of hear everybody kind of take a nod about old school TV and the way it used to work and shit like that. But on the page itself, if you were to cycle through each one of the reels really quick, they all start the same for a reason. You know, it's like it's going to be like you're flipping through, you know, an old school TV and all the different channels, you know, and things that come up. Or it's going to be different content. So yeah, as you scroll through, you know, it's going to be like you're changing channels. And so yeah, I definitely love the idea that they kind of threw that in the movie and whatnot. It's like really kind of cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, I kind of love that idea of like old school TV going off the air and whatnot. You know.
Yeah.
They show the horror films late and whatnot on TV and shit, and sometimes you'd get them
Billy Bob
on like Mystery Space Science Theater. You know what I'm saying? Like where
yep.
They're,
USA
kinda,
up all night.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? All those, they would take those old school films and rebroadcast them, but they still have the same approach of where it would be like, you know, kind of TV
Elvira
or something crazy coming on the air. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I see that you found
nice
something.
effect.
Billy Bob's Drive-In.
No, Joe Bob.
Or Joe Bob.
Billy Bob.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Joe Bob's Drive-In. Like,
Get
yeah.
him.
Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. In actuality, back in that time frame, it would have been Monster Vision.
Yeah.
Right. Which is another great one. It's right up there with
That was Joe Bob's show. Now he's on Shudder, and it's The Last Drive-In.
Yeah,
But prior, it was he was the horror host on Monster Vision.
Kind of giving a nod to you know, my family, like kind of got me started on the old school stuff. But it was, you know, a rebroadcast by the time I got to it. But like the original Twilight Zone,
Yes.
Dark Side,
Yes.
Monsters, all that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
That fucking, believe it or not, for those that may not know this, but there was also the Friday the 13th series.
Yes.
Oh, that was great.
That
Freddy's
was-
Nightmares.
Elm Street TV series. You know what I'm saying? Like, limited for that one, but still, like, you
Yeah.
kind of see that shit on TV. It's kind of
It's cool.
mind-blowing at the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Fucking Warehouse
really kinda gives
13.
you a look into like how the horror culture has, you know, peeled back the veil of you know, the whole genre for a time.
Erie, Indiana.
On network television. Exactly, another great example. Like, yeah, I mean, you gotta find some of these shows.
Hell, even David Lynch's Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Firewalk with Me and shit. Like that all that stuff. Like those are
Yeah, I actually
classics.
watched, which I don't know if it counts, and obviously we're kind of getting off topic here, but I watched Ratchet, which was actually a very interesting series, but it's based off of One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, so it was like
I
kind of
mean, but
interesting seeing that show after watching it, but it's definitely got very much like Hitchcocky and Stephen King kind of vibes to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to be honest with you, if it wasn't for shows like that, we wouldn't have like Bitten and Supernatural and that one I can't remember what the hell the name of the vampire one is, but
Buffy?
no, I'm not talking about Buffy's like campy horror show.
Oh, I gotta heal.
So I mean, we
That
wouldn't
thing
have
messed me up.
horror shows today if it wasn't for those shows back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
So we got to give a shout out to them.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
All right,
Yeah, I've
Nem.
been shooting those things.
Nem, you are up there, sir.
Alright, fuck, dude. Not time to be out of ammo, that's all I'm saying.
Dude, I was
out of
almost out of
ammo.
ammo on that last one.
Me too. I was like out of ammo basically. I had the assault rifle and that was it.
Stay
The pulse
behind
rifle.
me.
I had my rapid fire pistol. That was it. For like half that damn match.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, oh my gosh, he's got the pistol out.
What the hell? Where the thing's coming from?
Man, I was just rocking the freaking pistol because I was almost out of bullets I was down to 16 bullets on my rapid fire.
Dang.
I got 268 right now.
So, we are going to
I'm
play
going to the
Mission
lake
1
tomorrow.
one more time. Try and get your combat rating up there, sir.
Okay. Alright,
Fuck out of here, dude.
let's do it.
Because right now we can
I
only play the first
suppose.
3 missions.
Yep. You're welcome.
208. Well, the whole.
Yeah, man, I just haven't had time to be playing. It's priorities. I gotta make time, I used to play every day. I hardly play video games.
148.
Well, come on.
And there's no challenge cards that can actually increase your battle rating.
No.
That's
That you gotta earn.
I'm at 211 right now.
alright, I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Oh. Scheiße.
We got a ping on Dr. Honecker's personal data transmitter. Listen how far in.
Ammo.
First, we need a deck. Pull one off a terminal and chlorine extraction.
And don't forget to look for the hidden caches.
Remember, this is where the ground shakes. So, we'll pause here for you to give your list. Similar to like what we did last time.
Yep.
Except,
Perfect.
hopefully this time without me getting my Wi-Fi dropping.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're gonna be positive about
Maybe
that.
we
It's
can
not
keep
gonna
the
happen.
backup
We're
power
good.
after we grab Honecker.
Alright, so you can go for it.
Don't forget to check your areas
3 goats.
for
Caches?
intel. Intel.
No.
Alright. So you're 3 goats, Nem?
Yeah. So so many fucking times. Paved the way, obviously. Won't need much to discuss about it, but yeah, Exorcist, number one, dude, right out the gate. Like, it's just gotta
Yeah, there you
happen. For me, I think the only thing really more terrifying than the movie itself is to know that, like, it's based on a true story, like Matt was talking about. Um, you know,
Give me a second.
obviously leaving out a lot of details, but
I got a
another
tech
thing
go.
that's
Yeah.
like is
Backup
scary about it
generators
is like
beyond Honeker's ping.
the things you find
Take
out
it out.
about the
We grab.
film, unfortunately, that happened, during the course of making that film. It's kind of crazy stuff. So,
Our men should be in
um,
the junction
it
Yes.
definitely earned its spot in the way into the lore and lore of
Whew.
supernatural horror film and what it's provided us
Honecker,
with in
this is the
terms of paving
Colonial
the way
Marines. You
for a
hearing me?
lot more film to come. On that same note and in that regard, that being said, the second one for me, uh, just in terms of like for mine, a lot of mine have to do with like single-handedly like pushing the narrative and the culture in terms of film in general for horror. So, moving on with that theme for me, the second one
Acid
for me was
damage.
Hellraiser.
Not encouraging.
Clive Barker
Continue
is
your
just a
sweep.
genius. To know that the majority of these 8 to 10 films, whether you want to call them canon or not, we've gotten all of that from like a chapter out of a huge novel. You know what I mean? Like that's to me that alone is kind of mind-boggling. Uh, and like a lot of you guys had touched and mentioned before. There's so much involved with that lore. It's just steeped and dripping throughout all the films. If you get past the gloss of all the leather and chains and whatnot, you know what I mean, and how visceral it can be with the body horror and whatnot and the mods. You know, there's more to it going on than just that. But I think a lot of people have kind of just had another narrative completely in mind. And don't get me wrong, Clive Barker's gone on record as saying and noted, talked about it like there's a lot of other shit going on uh, with his movie
Shifting
subliminally
right
for a
here.
reason, and it's because he wants it to be on showcase. He wants it to be known and kind of in your face to garner the
Lightspeed
reaction that it
incoming. Get
does.
hot.
It was all made by design for a reason. But I think that just furthers the legend of its lore and existence, if you will. There really isn't another
Way more
film
than I
that touches on
expected.
it the way Hellraiser does. Um, I think you're pretty solid all the way up through the first
Launch the
four,
run-in.
even though the fourth one is that kind of like cliche, like oh they always take horror to space to end it all, like type trope. I think it was really done well, and not to give anything away for whatever reason if you haven't seen that one, but the way that one actually ends, it's pretty good fucking concept actually.
Yep.
But that's just me
Expect
talking out of my
soaring.
ass. I mean, whatever.
Hey, on the deck,
I really
Honeker's
enjoyed it.
PDT chip. Cut it out. But why?
Dude, that's fucking nice, man. I like that.
Yep. I'm reading it.
Okay, okay. Fire. Hell yeah, dude. Let's see. And so for my last one, but not least in terms of greatest of all time, just it's a cultural thing for me, and I don't necessarily mean it in terms of like, you know, race or any of that. It's just the fact that like it's one of the few times something that
Doors welded shut. Sloppy work.
children do
Guess Honecker went this
in
way.
culture as a part of like growing up. I'm pretty sure one of us, if not all of us, have done it before. Whether we were pressured by somebody else to do it, dared by somebody else to do it, or been with a bunch of other people that just have this mindset where it would be fun to do it, and you were in there in the room when it happened. But we've all done Bloody Mary at one point during some crazy wild summer, you know, and at its root, that's what this story is about. And much like Matt, I once again have another film where it's
The hell's
pretty much
that?
the same creator, director, whatever you want to call it, for a film in Candyman. It just struck a chord, I think, with the culture at the time. It's one of those where you get an urban legend that is kind of turned on its ear a little
And
bit.
Clive
I got an
Barker
idea how
again.
to track
And
down
yeah,
Honecker.
exactly. It's kind of
Searching his
turned on
home
its
barn
ear a
won't
little
do
bit,
long.
and I think it's a fresh
Movement. Tell
take.
you
It's
my
a
idea
great
later.
story, but at the same time, it made people afraid to go in the bathroom or wherever their mirrors were to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was something
People
people were
don't
afraid to
say
do.
his name
Right, exactly that. That part right fucking there. You don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you know. You know, and I think without that, though, you don't necessarily get the same kind of cultural shift if there wasn't horror for it. That it really honestly was needed. And the fact that it was, in a way, just like Hellraiser in a lesser known horror film, that was so visceral, though, at the time, on a note that, in a way, you could relate to on so many levels because of the context of the film and what it was about, but also where it took place, the demographic, both demographics that it spoke to. Like, I mean, you know, to a regard, we're all middle class. You know what I'm saying? But like, how many of us are that elitist? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, we've all experienced that demographic and that the dynamic between the two, right?
Right.
So immediately that strikes a chord with us, so we can relate on that note. You know what I mean? Like, you've been in love before. You know what I mean? Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
liked somebody or something that you weren't supposed to, and then you were criticized and ridiculed over it? Maybe even, you know, chastised for it, yelled at, frowned upon, looked down upon because you like something you're not supposed to, or somebody else thought you weren't supposed to. Like, we've all been there, dude. You know, and they build on all of those dynamics. You know, and like, if you're not a fan of horror, maybe you don't realize like that's what that film was about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot going on with that. And so, anyways, I just think that it really, in a way, also, like, the irony that mirrors are used, but it's an opportunity for you to reflect upon yourself, right? And so a lot of people kind of saw themselves in a lot of different ways, whichever character you fit, but they saw themselves in that movie in a lot of ways. But at the end of the day, the takeaway was, we're not saying that name, and we're most certainly not doing it in front of a mirror. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Those are the goats. Next up, we got
All
top
right.
three.
So the next up we have the top 3 new newer films that you've seen,
Or a wish list.
Right,
or
right. Like I
wish
said, this
list.
one, this one definitely has a little bit of a looser, you know, category name for it. You know, basically, it's, you know, what do you think you would recommend to somebody to see now? Something you've seen recently, something you want to see. You're like, hey, this shit look badass. You should see it, or I've seen it already. You should see it. Like, what's on your mind? You know what I'm saying? What have
So
you
yes,
seen
so
recently?
these 3 are all movies that I would highly recommend. Um, so the top 3 that I've seen, I'm going to go off of movies. I've watched a lot of horror movies, so I don't really have. I mean, I have a wish list, but I'm not going to make a wish list when I have so many really solid films right now in my back pocket of my brain that I've seen recently that I'm like, hey, people need to watch these if they haven't seen them.
Right.
Like, need to watch, put it on their list. So I'm going to start at number 3, and I'm
Raise
going to
the
work my
paper,
way
guys.
up.
Get your finger right on the paper and
Oh,
ready.
switching it up.
So this one here is a foreign language film, subtitled film, from director Damien Rugna, who had done a film called Terrified. But this one here, it's called When Evil Lurks. And if you have not had an opportunity to watch this film, watch this film. This one here really pushes the envelope. It's a definite supernatural horror, and it has a unique take on something that we've seen before, but not like this. And let me tell you, there are scenes that will happen during the course of this film that will make even a seasoned horror vet go, whoa, I can't believe they just went there.
Pause. Respectfully pause. I will tell you, without spoiling anything, because I know you know, without even me finishing this sentence, I know you know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
My jaw hit the floor.
Yep.
I stopped the movie. I stopped it, dude. I stopped
Yep.
it. It took me a
Wow.
second, and then I had to go back so I could finish. But dude,
Yeah, well,
Dude, and you
that
don't even get a
moment
chance to
that
get in your
moment
seat.
occurs,
You're not even in
and
your
it's just
seat,
like,
bro.
whoa.
You think you're in your fucking seat, but you're not. You need
Yep,
to check where you are, touch the chest, touch your face. You know what I'm saying?
yep,
Make sure you're sitting down. You didn't get up, and run away, and then get back to watching because it's just getting
right.
started.
Yep, and I mean that's not the only moment, but
Dude, yeah, you're not wrong, Rod.
that's definitely the moment.
And what's this movie
Oh
called? The
Lord.
Terrifier?
No, it's called When Evil Lurks.
No, dude. This
Oh,
is
okay.
yeah. This is one, and this is one of those where if he doesn't mind me interjecting on it real fast, I
Oh,
consider this definitely agree with you, supernatural, but it's a suspense thriller too, though, bro, because it gets you locked in, and you're on a fucking ride.
you
Like
are on a ride throughout that
it's
film.
wild. But please continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yes, so if you haven't had an opportunity to watch When Evil Lurks, as long as you don't mind subtitled films, and I know that
Okay.
for some subtitles are kind of a deal breaker,
Yeah,
but
agreed.
but
I hear you.
and which is a shame because
Good
you're missing
call.
out on a lot of really
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 good.
good
Yeah.
movies. Um, but this one here, oh man, yep, highly recommend. Number two is a film called The Last Shift. And this one here, I absolutely love this movie. I actually just recently rewatched it again for probably like the fourth or fifth time. But I really want to kind of get the word out about this film. I think it's amazing. It is basically about a young female officer, rookie police officer, who is it's her first shift. That she has, her father was a police officer who died in the line of duty, and she is following in his footsteps. And her very first shift is basically to cover the old police station, which has now been basically all but abandoned, uh, for the final night of this police station's standing. Needless to say, things go strange. I mean, the way that the movie unfolds and the paranoia that I'll put it. The director actually remade his own film and put it out as a movie called Malum because they had a slightly higher budget. And in my opinion, Malum was good. Last Shift was still better. There was something about the smallness of that film, the performances in that film, and from a young girl saying that, help, they're coming after me, blah blah blah, and she shouldn't be getting any phone calls, any emergency phone calls at this police station. They should have all been rerouted. So these things start to come through, and little things happen bit by bit as the story unfolds. And man, the ending will have you going, whoa, whoa, whoa. I might need to watch this over again. Um,
I
so
need to be
that's
writing
my
this down.
I
that's
know,
my
right?
second recommendation. Number one, and if you haven't seen this, watch it, watch it, watch it, and I mean watch it. It's called it's a little film that stars Brian Cox and Emil Hirsch, um, and it's called The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Ooh.
And this movie will knock your socks off. Small cast, pretty much takes place primarily in one location. But let me tell you, you want to talk about a movie that is like an onion that is being peeled open little by little. And I'm making sort of a pun because we're talking about an autopsy, but it's like an onion being peeled open layer by layer over the course of this film, and the mystery. So it's basically a coroner a veteran coroner and his son who assists him, on autopsies. They're the ones who get in and try to determine cause of death. Well, in comes this Jane Doe, and they're attempting to uncover the cause of death. But as time progresses, well, needless to say, things don't quite add up the way that would normally add up when they're performing an autopsy, and they get more and more bizarre.
Ooh.
And yeah, I don't want to run the risk of saying too much, so I'm just going to kind of leave it there.
I'll
Watch
say
the
this.
movie.
It was the happiest accident finding this film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, not even sure what got me to it or what I was expecting to find. But like Matt says, just the way the story develops is so intriguing.
It's like a
It's
jigsaw
really
puzzle.
good. It's really good, man. Like, I don't know if enough people are talking about this film. You're like the second
I don't think so.
or third that I've heard talk about it.
Yeah, I haven't
So
heard
know
of it.
It's not talked about a lot, but dude, like,
I need
Is
to be
it-
writing these down.
What's it streaming on?
I saw it on Netflix, so I mean, I would hope
Yeah.
still.
Okay.
Let me find out. Now streaming.
At Jana's house.
AMC Plus, Tubi. So it's on Prime.
Ooh. Bonus.
Said
Nice.
Tubi?
No, it's on Tubi. Prime is a rent buy. So it's on Tubi. The Last Shift.
I'm gonna shortcut you through the refinery core. You'll get a nice view, too. You're welcome.
Hold on. Now I'm trying to find. Find this in.
Yeah.
Said the autopsy of Jane Doe, huh?
Yup.
Yeah,
Yep.
I gotta see it.
There's a
That's
cache
on
down
Doe.
here.
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe.
Oh shit.
When the evil lurks.
No.
Where evil lurks.
No.
Oh, where evil
When.
lurks.
When.
Oh, when?
When evil lurks. 3 words.
It is when evil lurks. Okay.
Okay.
I just say that because, like, I've seen enough films to know that you're gonna find other films looking that up with the wrong name title.
Right.
It's a very particular title.
When we reach Honecker, we're gonna find a scientist or a puddle of Chucky Mary.
So where evil lurks, or when evil lurks.
When.
Evil
Yep.
lurks.
There you go.
I know it gets me too.
That's what I'm saying. I've been. Now, trust me, I've been there. I'm not even fucking with like it being funny and that. No, you're good. I totally get it.
All right, I'm gonna hide back here and
The Last Shift is streaming on Prime and also on Tubi. And
that's funny because
When Evil Lurks is on Shudder.
I was just looking up horror movies on Tubi today, and like I saw a bunch of 1980s and 1990s campy ones, like, so I'll have to look specifically for that one.
When Evil Lurks is on Hulu.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
there we go. So Disney Plus.
Check these out.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen the movie, so you don't get the humor fully.
All right.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
So top 3 for now, or watch list. Mine are a little bit older, obviously, because I haven't seen too much as far as anything new. So, obviously my top three would be Paranormal Activity as far as like recently. The Paranormal Activity series is just it's amazing. Um, it gives you that same vibe as like the Blair Witch and stuff like that found footage type stuff. So I do enjoy that. Um, if you haven't seen it, again, it is like late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember exactly when it came out. But Sunshine. If you have not seen Sunshine,
with Cian Murphy.
I believe so, yes.
Big guy.
It is it's another one that's kind of along the same lines as Event Horizon. Space movie. Definitely, um, great movie. I would definitely recommend watching that one. And then because I haven't seen them, I'm going to say Final Destination 4 and 5. Those are on my watch list because Final Destination is just it's an awesome series. Again, Nem said it earlier, it changed the way people drive, right? So, 4 and 5, I haven't seen them yet. They are definitely on my watch list.
Nice.
I gotta
Recently
heal.
saw
Yeah,
those
Final
on-
Destination's sick. What's up?
I recently saw those on a streaming platform too because the new one just came out. So
Yep.
now you can actually stream and watch a majority of those now. I was kind of find out which one it's on for you.
Yeah, I think it's on Paramount.
HBO, right?
It's Paramount or Max.
It's on
I can't.
Max, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Like the whole franchise is on Max, except for obviously the newest one.
Yeah. So I do want to see 4 and 5. Those are going to be on my to watch list. But if you haven't watched it, Sunshine is an awesome movie.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check it out.
I haven't watched
Give
that
it
in
a
a
look-see.
long time.
I know, right? 2007 is when it came out.
That's probably about when I saw it
Yeah.
last. Another one to keep in mind if you like that one, Jay, is Pandorum.
Pandorum.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been scrolling past that one.
What, Pandorum?
It's on Prime. Yeah, it's on Prime.
Yeah, that was pretty good. It's not on topic with what we're discussing, but
Okay, I'll have to check that out too.
it's a good horror movie.
Sick. If it's got my brother's recommendation, I'm giving it a shot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I know the vibes.
So Sunshine is streaming free on YouTube.
Nice.
Or you can purchase it Amazon Prime, Google Play, or Fandango at home for like $4.
I'll have to recheck that movie out. Anyway, keep going.
All right. So I mean, those are my three.
Oh, there was 3?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow,
Okay.
y'all aren't paying attention.
In the zone, probably in a firefight.
All right.
Yep.
So, Fan, it's your turn now. It's hard to keep concentration on this.
Yeah. You see how like when streamers are full combos, then they're full on hardest difficulty. You know.
Yep.
Until you get some respect for.
All right.
It's like, dang.
We're just gonna chill right
full-on
here.
Conversation like where it's on a specific topic. I mean, we can converse about whatever. We can just sit here and bullshit while we're playing, and it'd be fine. But we're trying to actually
converse on a topic
converse on a topic
and play a game at the same
intellectualize.
time. Like that's
Intellectualize is right.
Woo.
Which takes a lot more brain power.
right.
Yep.
So we're just gonna sit right here and Fan, you're up next for yours for your top 3.
All right, cool. Top 3 for my watch list are on now,
Yep.
or just recently. Would be number 1 would be The Serpent and the Rainbow, because I just watched that. But you're kind of right. It's like a zombie movie, you know. So it's like, is it really like does it really fit for tonight? I don't know. But I watched it recently, and I was like, I didn't get the zombie part until like I watched, like I got into it, you know. And I was like, okay, there's zombies.
Well,
You know?
I mean, it deals
I would
with,
say
magic.
I would say that
Voodoo.
you know the voodoo would be part of that supernatural because it is a religion.
That's why I thought it would be.
Right?
That's why I thought it would be supernatural, because of the voodoo and stuff like
yeah,
that.
it is a religion. Voodoo is a religion.
It's a religious horror.
Yep.
Just
So, yeah.
even though it's not Christianity or Catholicism, it's not
Right.
dealing with demon possession. We're talking about something a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, something a little different. Yeah, that one's pretty good. I really saw Bill Pullman in a different light after that. It's like the same guy who did Spaceballs. You know, seeing it like
He was
Right.
the president of the United
Right.
States.
Right.
Yeah, he was the president for you know, Independence Day. Yep. So I mean, it's weird seeing him in a horror like that. Like that movie, I was like, wow. I was surprised at that movie. I was like, okay, I'll give this a shot. It looks like some kind of like maybe like something that didn't really hit big at the box office and didn't really do well. Maybe I didn't hear about it, you know. It wasn't like some big movie that everybody talks about. So I was like, give it a shot, and it turned out to be great. So I'd recommend that one if anybody hasn't seen The Serpent and the Rainbow.
Yeah, I saw that when I was like 15.
Really?
It's been a
I
while,
saw
dude.
that a long time ago.
It came out in 1988, dude. Like
Yep.
that.
It was 88. Yeah. Well, I was 2 years old.
But yeah, again, Wes Craven. Like
Might have been around the last time I watched it. No, I'm just kidding. I've watched it.
you know, the same mind who came up with Freddy. You know.
Yep, for real.
And Scream, like horror icon.
And his name's Wes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
He's like, I'm a little biased, you know.
it's Wes. So I'm just going with him because his name's Wes. That's
All right.
West, you know what I'm saying?
So
Yep,
Serpent
Team
and the
West.
Rainbow is first.
is number 1.
Yep.
Second one is the newest Evil Dead.
Evil Dead Rise.
Ooh.
Yeah.
One
One
I haven't
of
seen.
the greatest openings to a movie.
Does that still have Ash in it?
No.
No,
Oh.
this
Oh,
is a
okay.
new one.
Okay.
This is one of the, like, it kind of does some more serious kind of
Ooh.
take
yeah,
on
it's intense.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fucking.
'Cause I've been
Crazy.
seeing
it's
that.
Real good.
I've been seeing it on like I think it's either Max or Paramount. I can't remember
Yeah.
which, but
I think it's on Max.
you know I've been wanting
I
to
think it's
watch
on
it.
Max.
So
That one's brutal, though. That one's brutal.
That one's not for the wifey for sure.
yeah. So that'll be a day that I'm just like watching
Solo
horror
it.
movies by myself.
Yeah.
I'm calling it at the kitchen scene, dude. She'd be done.
Oh, for sure.
With
Oh,
on
yeah.
the counter and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
Fuzzies in her tummy, bro. I promise you. Like,
You
listen,
know what?
Yeah.
Since we're just standing here,
knowing her aunt was pregnant and she checked her on that shit, bro. No,
Yeah.
that was rough. That was rough.
I got you. I got you.
Man. So yeah, the
Yeah.
Evil Dead's number 2.
Just the titles, the actual title sequence, the way that the title sequence is revealed. was just that was magic.
Yeah,
Oh,
That was
they
cinema.
nailed it. They nailed it. And then on my watch list, what I need to watch is the Insidious movies and the rest of the Conjuring movies.
Ooh,
So it's
yeah.
yes.
kind of like a two.
I did like a whole binge series where I watched all of them just so I could watch. It was
Should
something.
probably
Oh
heal.
yeah, the Red Door,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched that.
Insidious.
which by far conceptually is my favorite one. I think. I mean, it was definitely a little muddled there, but I still enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I
Insidious
enjoyed
and
all of them.
Conjuring. I think
I
I've
mean,
been
to be
seeing those
fair,
as well, and I want to see those. Yeah.
to be fair, it's like it's centered around an artist, so I could kind of relate in that way, and so that's kind of
Right.
why I enjoyed it. But I also did think the story on it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on. So those are my three.
And that leaves us to Nem.
Right. All right. So
Hey, dare you to spit over the side?
reload ammo real quick. So for my three, I got
Got some big internal leaks.
some interesting
Never a good
choices for
sign in
sure.
space.
I want to kind of just start with one that's more of like an indie film. In my opinion, it's like a lot of people don't really know much about it. I think it's going to end up having like a cult following if it doesn't have like an absurd following already for how awesome it was. But I felt like the marketing for it and shit was kind of like low key, and you kind of had to be like, just I don't know, one of those movie people that kind of just saw shit and be like, oh man, this movie fucking great. But anyways, Late Night with the Devil. I thought it was like
Yes.
really great movie. It just
David S. Malchin.
right, and
Yeah, I need to see that one.
it really pushes the envelope for practical, and then obviously like it's got some special effects in it, but it's tastefully done in a way that really pushes the envelope of like, am I tripping
Gosh
right
darn
now?
it.
You
Let's
know what I
just talk
mean? Like,
about David Dastmalchian finally getting a leading man role.
I mean, not only well deserved and
Seriously, polka
overdue,
dot guy off
obviously,
Suicide Squad.
but like, yeah. And I mean, he's just so good in this role, man, because you really like, in a way, you feel for him, you understand his position and why he's in the spot that he's in, and how he's trying to get himself out of it. And come
It's
out on top, and it's tough because it ends up being a long night for him.
the another thing, if you don't mind me interjecting now, is one of the
I
things
love
I
it.
really loved about Late Night with the Devil is that they really, really captured that late 70s, early 80s late
Absolutely.
night talk show vibe.
And as crazy as it is to say that, especially for you and myself, we age came up earlier, it calls back to a time where we were young enough to actually kind of remember the last little bit of that and how that
Oh
was
yeah,
TV for a little
Johnny
while.
Carson.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? And so it was kind of odd to be like barely be able to remember some of that and to be able to kind of like understand where they were coming from, but at the same time, very much realizing that we're far enough away from that. This is literally like our normal, what our idea of a period piece would be. You know what I'm saying? You're not
Yep.
necessarily looking at like, you know, something, in a different century or anything like that. It's just that,
Yep.
it's dated enough, I guess is the
Yep.
Hmm.
best way to put it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like right up there at that cusp. So, anyways, I thought that was really awesome to kind of get a key look into it like that, especially the way they built the story with that one.
All my boards just
It
line
was
up.
really,
Yep.
really good.
That was a
Anyways,
Shutter original.
yeah, and it's not to marginalize but just gloss over really fast, but just to keep it moving. Um, the second film for me, I was definitely a late bloomer on it. I had heard about it, but had seen it much later than everybody else. So by the time I saw it, it already kind of had a reputation. But I didn't know not only what it was about, but I didn't know the context either. And I think for this film, that's huge. So I won't be really getting into any details. Plus, it's hard to get into detail about this without A, giving it away, or B, underselling how crazy this fucking film is. So my number two film is Hereditary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a must watch, but at the same time, it's very heavy in a way that I will say, it's another episode, another time, another conversation But a lot of times, in parallel to us talking about like what our line is and what line we don't cross anymore when we watch films, in a way, there's this thing about us horror fans and why we actually watch horror films.
Oh
So
yeah.
for a lot of folks, it's about the idea of like, is that safe, kind of scary trouble you can get into. You know that it's not real and that it's just a film. And so for a couple of hours, it might get a good jump scare out of you or two, but at the end of the day, it's just a movie and you walk away no problem. For some people, it's just seeing that mayhem and seeing that chaos in a controlled environment to where like you can kind of root for the bad guy for a little bit, and it's okay because it's just a movie, you
Huh.
know. For some people, it's literally what a movie should be. It's just 2 hours of a vacation of your mind, and you don't get to think about nothing. You can just watch, the crazy shit happen on the screen because it's your favorite horror movie, and you're good to go. And for some people, in a way, it's therapy. Kind of helps you get through some of the wild shit that's happened to you because you're looking at this story and it's like you can relate to it in a way. This is catharsis that helps you get through a rough
Yeah,
patch.
man.
You know,
Somebody else's storm puts
right?
yours
You
into
know what I'm saying?
perspective.
Right, exactly that. And so for a time, um, that's what this film did for me. Um, and I've seen it a couple times, so it's like now it's a little bit more than that, and it's really kind of creepy. But yeah, and so the long and the short of it is, there's a traumatic event that happens in the film that kind of dictates the course of the entire film and the track that it's on. But that's not really what's going on. And I think
Come on.
that's the part that really kind of surprises me the most in the way the story is driven, the layers that it's built upon, and what it's actually about, and then of course the ending, which you could never ever guess. Um, and there's so many turns before you get there. You know, it's wild. And I really want to divulge, like I said, anything because like Talon's probably haven't seen it, and I want to make sure he gets a chance to really kind of see it and enjoy it because it's definitely one of those milestone films in horror, like modern horror, what we're watching and growing with at this time in our lives. Like these are the films that people are going to look back on like we do for other films. You know what I'm saying? They paved the way for us to watch what we're watching now. You know,
Right.
Hereditary is definitely going to be on that list. But speaking of which, this brings me to my newest one. It's a film from A24, which is quickly uh, garnering a name for itself in terms of not necessarily horror dominance, but definitely the bar, and they're continuing to set it with number of films, and depending on what kind of subgenre you're a fan of, depending on what it is, H24 probably covers it, and it's probably your favorite film recently. It kind of just depends on on what you're into because they're putting out a lot of different shit. But this one, in my opinion, is one that kind of started it all. I kind of just heard a buzz about it, and like that it was like a must see film. And honestly, it's kind of been my rule of thumb. If I can get to a theater and see any film that I hear that about without having to see a trailer for it or any of that shit, because I like to go in as blind as possible, I absolutely
Okay.
go and do that. And this was definitely one of the ones that, dude, said the term before, knocked your socks off. I don't recall going to a theater and watching a movie and having like that holy shit moment. And this was like one of those I feel like also without any more build up is one of those where dude like it grabs you right away, right at the beginning, and does not let go and keeps you the entire fucking time. And just so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about here, Talon's Smile is another good example of films that do
Ooh,
that.
Smile
It
was
snatches
good.
you up right out the gate, and it keeps you in the entire fucking time and does not let go. And so I feel like this is how this film was. And it was the first one that really kind of fucked me up in the theater for the first time again in a long time.
And the
And so
thing
I
is,
was
like,
like, oh, it
you
kind of restored my faith in the fact that they're going to be able to put together some really good horror films. And a lot came out after this film that I'm getting ready to tell you what it is. So I think it's just really awesome. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. But yeah, film of the year when it dropped. Talk to me. Amazing film. It was made by
Yeah.
two YouTube guys. I was unfamiliar with any of their work. I literally went in blind, had no idea what I was gonna see. Absolutely phenomenal film, and it leaves you asking so many questions, dude. Like, you want to talk about joking, like about what side of the glass you're really on, dude? Like, fuck the Matrix. This one put it on a whole nother level, and that's all I can really say without spoiling anything. But it's
Okay.
dude,
And
like,
that's Talk to Me?
yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
dude, it's so fucking
Yeah, the
good,
one with the
dude.
hand.
Like, yeah, I saw that one twice in the theater, like.
I own that movie.
And then I showed it again in my Savage Sunday. Like, we had a blast with that movie, dude. Like, that movie is a fucking truth,
You
dude.
know,
Like,
I'll be honest with you, dude. If it wasn't for the fact that your Savage Sundays were at like 11 o'clock at night, which is midnight my time,
yeah,
or
say sometimes
you
they
know
go to
10
midnight,
10
so it'd
o'clock.
be 1 a.m. your time.
You know, so I mean, it if it wasn't for the fact that it was so damn late, and I have to work on Monday morning, I would probably swing in, and
That's
you
why I tried
know.
to hit you up on the holiday one for like Memorial Day weekend. I was like, hey, you guys are off because you ain't got to work. Like,
No,
listen, my work is
we still had
closed,
to
so
work.
like, yeah. I say I can't tell now. I don't know, so I throw it out there anyway because like basically the place I'm working for now is like they're small. So like they observe most holidays and shit. So like Memorial Day, we was closed. 4th of July, we gonna be closed and shit, bro. So like I'm gonna be on and doing shit. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
grind don't
no,
stop for real. Like
we were full swing open. You know, now we do have a holiday coming up in July 4th, but you know, other than that, nah.
so, since I'm the last one to go, I want to run over honorable mention real quick, just because it was a category I felt like we weren't gonna actually get. I was happily mistaken about that. I'm glad we have it. I think it's gonna be great. Um,
Yes.
But I'd like to go ahead and throw it out there that while obviously I don't want to go crazy, I do understand that three is hard to nail down.
Yep.
So for this category, because it's a loosely added category, like I said, I was talking to Metallica about it. You know, a lot of this stuff is like we play first person shooters, right? And just a quick analogy here. I'd like to think of these questions that we answer every time for our theme of the night, our topic of the night, is more like a guided system. So like when you're playing first person shooters, how sometimes they're on a rail and you gotta just follow the rail and shoot.
Yeah.
As
Yep.
opposed to like Call of Duty or this one where we're actually running around and shooting. So this one's on a rail system, right? But that's it. It's just a guided system. You know, it's not a make or break. There's no wrong answers. Like we're just getting the conversation started.
Yeah,
My
we're just
point is,
rolling around in Verdansk on the train. That's it.
yeah, my point is, I think with this one though, I'd like to open it up. So 3 to 5 movies, I think is perfectly fine for this one. We'll just try to keep it brief. The irony is that I would say technically 3 out of the four that I have here tonight were covered. So, anyways, I was getting to them real fast. My honorable mentions, the four are When Evil Lurks. I thought it was a great film. I wanted to put it in one of my categories, but other thoughts prevailed. Here we
Right.
are. That's all my honorable mention. It's a must watch. Like, absolutely. Um, Next one, though, 13 Ghosts, the remake. I thought at the time when it came out was a really, really great film. It's actually like my.
Yes.
It's actually my second favorite role by Matthew Lillard. First is Hackers. Second,
Yes.
13 Ghosts. Third, Scream. Don't at me. We're not talking about it, but those are the top three. Third film, speaking of threes, third film, honorable mention, Matt, I'm looking at you, Jacob's Ladder.
Hey,
Ooh.
there we go.
Ooh. That's
And
one I haven't seen in a minute.
that film kind of fucked me up, dude. I wasn't ready for it at the time when I watched it, so it warranted another
Again,
watch. You
a
know what I
lot
mean?
of
Like,
these
you know.
a lot of these that you're mentioning, like I watched when I was like 17, 18, 19,
So here
you
again, dude,
know.
that's the beauty of this conversation and what we're doing with the Savage Saturdays. You know, with the irony of all of us talking about the same thing, yet coming out with different responses. Is that one thing is probably going to remain consistent is the fact that we all watch these films very young. Even
Yeah.
even if we watched them before we were supposed to, we were still watching them young. You know what I mean? The same thing with Fantomic, like, bro, he still found them young. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he could have started watching horror movies at fucking 18, 19, 20 years old, but nah, somehow he still found them young, you know? Like,
Not in my
that's the-
family.
Yeah.
But here again, where it's the same, you know what I'm saying?
Hell
So
yeah.
yeah, like, dude. So for those that don't know, real quick, the story of how like I found film was like literally, my family was deep into the coin operated mechanism business. So by trade, they were really into coin operated mechanisms. You know what I mean? And arcades, you know, ended up in theaters. So by proxy, my grandfather was seeing a lot of movies, and he brought that whole idea, you know, those ideals home. So yeah, while they had games and a lot of other coin operated things in the house, you know, jukeboxes, pool tables, all that fun shit, you know, they were just being built. It wasn't like the whole thing was in the house and set up, but the culture was there. So the two things they brought home most frequently, most often, was music and movies. So by the time I came into the picture, bro, we were going and you know, picking up VHS tapes of shit, you know what I'm saying, and just nonstop always watching movies, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, so like it's just part of the culture, dude. You're either part of it or you weren't. And most often the people that I end up hanging out with that love horror film have a buttload of horror films, you know what I'm saying? And they
Right.
own them. They don't just
Yeah.
talk about them and watch them, like they own them. You know what I'm saying? I don't care whether you have, you know, VHS, DVDs.
Well,
Some
like
of
I
these movies
said,
still got laser disc, bro. Like
I
they
mean,
have them. You know
like
what
I
I'm
s-
saying?
like I
My
said,
brother's
I
got the laser
own
disc.
a lot of movies, and you know, I'd say a good 25-30% of them are horror that I haven't seen yet. You know, um, even digital. You know, I own Get Out, but I haven't seen it yet.
So, guys, listen, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Wanted to get that out of the way before I forget. It's very much important to say that. But just please, I don't want to hold you guys up anymore. Whoever wants to go next, you're on the
I
hot
will.
seat. What's your honorable mention?
I'll go ahead, and that way we can kick off this little event that we're sitting here waiting for.
Cool.
So the first one that I had was already mentioned. That was Event Horizon.
Nice,
Um,
great movie.
I absolutely love that film. Great film. The next one was just briefly mentioned. Smile.
Nice.
Nice.
Absolutely
Great movie.
loved that movie. Sosie Bacon was pitch perfect
And
There
I
are
in
just
her
really,
watched that
performance
the
in
other
that
day.
they're really just a
in that film.
shortage of films that are like that help kind of like get a shot in the arm for the genre. And honestly, I don't know. I would hope that you guys were too, but we all were busy and had a lot going on during the time of the pandemic and whatnot. But one thing that I was kind of looking forward to, the silver lining, outside of like that not being a thing anymore, was like, man, if we can get over this pandemic and then the writer's strike that happened, you know, if we could just get it into that and get back into the theaters, there's got to be all these projects that have been halted and stopped that are gonna get like fired back up again. People are gonna be shooting movies again. This could be great for horror. And trust me when I tell you, I swear to God, I thought it was a pipe dream. I swear to God. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm probably the only idiot out there thinking about fucking movies right now. But I can be selfish for 5 minutes. Like, man, like outside of all this shit, like you name like an arm's length of list of shit that you want. You know what I mean? And somewhere amongst all of that, horror film was there, dude. Like I really just had hoped, you know. And not to get away from what Matt's talking about, but yeah, I agree. I think Smile was amazing. It was one of those. It was just a shot in the arm, though, dude, that we needed. That was just bringing horror back to the
Oh.
cinema.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
great.
definitely
Well,
like
that and the marketing that they
It was
did
a
for it
fresh
was
idea,
genius.
dude.
it
Not
was
only that,
definitely
but
like a
like
slow
us.
Having the
burn.
plants at sporting events,
Yeah, I don't
staring at
know
the
if
cameras
yeah,
and
see, that
smiling.
might have been the one thing that Talon you may have not had a chance to really get in on. So what I would
Yeah,
say, if you get a chance, look it up on YouTube. See if you can find any of the viral marketing that they did, dude. I
the viral
remember
marketing that they did for
watching.
Smile was just
I
great.
remember I was one of those guys. I was watching something sports related on TV and remember seeing these guys in the audience. I'm getting chills right now
And
thinking
it's
about
like,
it. Like,
what the heck is
dude,
going on here?
right,
This is
right.
really
Because like,
weird.
because it was first just like you gotta think the shit fucking cooks, bro. Because you're watching it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. That guy's really having a good time at the game. And then a commercial break happens, They go
And
back
he's
to playing
still
ball,
come back, and the
whatever,
person's still
whatever.
looking directly
And
at the
thing of it
camera.
is like, okay, so I'm
They're
gonna
not
just
watching the
explain.
game.
This is one experience of what happened with me, right? So I'm watching this baseball game, and it starts with the camera kind of pans over really quick because the whole crowd's kind of erupting and cheering and whatnot. You know, everybody's clapping, and they're clapping, but it's like really huge smile. It's like, man, they're really having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. And then everybody starts standing up. Like a home run was hit or something like that, and so now they're standing, but it's still like no change in expression. Just the hugest fucking smile you can imagine, but they're clapping. So like in a way, it looks normal, like uniform. Okay, this person's having a great time, but I mean, am I going crazy right now? Because his smile's not really changing. Like he seems really fucking happy and he's clapping now too.
I
Everybody
bet
sits
after
down.
hours though he was like,
Listen,
his muscles were probably.
listen, bro. Everybody sits down. Okay. This is where it starts to be a problem because now I've seen too many movies. I don't know anything about smile. But I do notice this guy having a really good time, still not breaking a beat on his smile, and now not only is he not clapping, but he is also very much not sitting down.
Yep.
Everybody else is sitting down, Talon. Okay, imagine.
Okay.
Minutes, okay, have gone by. He's still standing, bro. Still
Staring
fucking
at
smiling.
the camera.
Staring at the camera. Okay? Minutes. You laugh, but minutes go by, bro. Minutes. Yeah. And this is all on Jumbotron. Minutes, bro. Like, he is fucking simmering. He's cooking so fucking much. To the point where now, and I can't make this up, now you see somebody off camera approaching him in a yellow jacket, clearly says security, forcibly removing him. Not a joke. Dude. Quite possibly some of the most unsettling marketing I've seen in a hot minute.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that shit out.
Yeah, bro. I was like, what did I just see? And so they had
Because
I did.
I did enjoy the movie. I liked that movie. That movie was fucking awesome.
So now, imagine how you're gonna be when you see part 2.
Oof.
Right. I see. Me personally, I still found the first one to be the superior of the two. I know that some do see Smile 2 as the superior film because it's much bigger.
I don't know that, but I will say that I felt like it's in the argument now of where do sequels stand at. You know what I mean? Like,
it was a really solid sequel. There's no doubt about it.
Right? Like, we gotta talk about that, man. I'm telling you, dude.
We'll have to do a deep dive for just that for just those two movies.
Talent to watch part 2, bro.
I'll watch it this week.
Tonight. I can send you a link tonight.
No, I'll watch it tonight, or I'll watch it sometime this week.
Is it?
That's something that's so hard for movies to make a good sequel. You know.
That would be great.
Yeah, because I just watched the first one like the other day. And the second one's like right behind it, so.
Alright, so the next one on my list of honorable mentions would be Sinister, which we previously discussed. But Sinister is another one that is just genuinely creepy.
That is the one I was thinking of.
And Ethan Hawke was really amazing in the movie.
That is one of the newer ones that I was able to watch. Yes.
And then the fourth one is going to be Oculus, which I previously mentioned earlier.
Interesting choice. I like it.
But Oculus is is one that I really enjoy primarily because one, it does play with the whole concept of the mirror, which that I do have a deep-seated fear of looking in the mirror and having my reflection doing something that I didn't do.
Yeah.
That just the concept of that terrifies the hell out of me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of like one of those things like, well, when I look in a mirror, am I looking at a reflection of me, or am I looking at another me on the other side of the mirror, the anti-me on the other side of the mirror in a mirror dimension?
The Alice.
So yeah, so it's like there's a certain creepiness to that. But beyond that, for Oculus, I love the matter of how it plays with the concept of perception. Which, if you haven't seen the film, just watch the film. It's sometimes what you see isn't what you see.
Oculus, like it. I will definitely check that out.
And,
What year was that made?
Oh shoot, that was I want to say 2005, 2006, like right around there. Let me think here. Oculus. No, actually, it was 2013.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2013
Cool.
Oculus.
And the last one on the supernatural horror trip, for me, honorable mention, just because it had to be talked about at some point in time tonight. Had to be, because I love this movie. It's genuinely creepy, based on a short story by the King of Horror, and the short story was genuinely creepy, even more creepy than the movie, surprisingly. But that is 1408.
Ooh.
Okay, nice.
With John Cusack
Yes.
and Sam Jackson.
Yes. I
Yep.
remember that one. That was a good
People
movie.
not talking about John Cusack and Samuel Jackson. Like, it's just awesome. I love it. It's great.
So
1408
yeah,
was really
if you haven't
good.
watched
Yeah,
1408,
it was. I like that
it
one.
is
I own
about
that one.
I love that movie. So it's one of those ones that I looked at and I was like, man, this has got to go on my list somewhere. I couldn't squeeze it in, you know, in any other spot. So, but it's like one of those ones like this one. When it comes to supernatural horror films, this one slept on. People don't really think about it when they're looking at like these are like the greatest, you know. And people don't. They sleep on that one. It's and I mean I could go on and on and on. I have tons of honorable mentions.
Right.
But yeah, if you haven't watched 1408, it is about a horror novelist who is basically going and staying at haunted locations and narrating his experiences at these haunted locations. Turns out he's more so fabricating his experience at these haunted locations for entertainment value in his books. He's rather quite the skeptic, and he ends up going and staying at this place that, well,
yeah. What wasn't exactly fake.
wasn't exactly like any other place that he's ever stayed before.
It's not the Motel 8, I can tell you that.
It's definitely not the Motel 8.
But what's crazy about that is it kind of does. There are shades of like the Hotel Cecil, you know, in like the whole kind of the film. If you haven't, the Elisa Lam, the Hotel Cecil, if you haven't done any research on, or if you don't know about that, it's an actual
site.
real unsolved mystery about a girl who was at this hotel, the Hotel Cecil, and there's video camera footage of her. She disappeared. Okay, and there's camera footage of her in the elevator, like walking by the elevator and walking into the elevator, and she's acting very, very erratic, and she disappeared, and then she did like the elevator game. She kept hitting a bunch of buttons, and it was really, really bizarre, and then she disappeared, and they later found her body in the
water, right?
So the people were complaining about the water quality in the hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
that the water was brown and it smelled funny, and it tasted weird, and so they
You smell funny.
they
Oh.
they ended up going and up to the water towers on the roof, and they were sealed. And they opened up the water tower and they found her body in one of the water towers. Um, well,
How do you explain that?
Yeah, before they found that, they found her clothes neatly folded outside of it,
Which is odd.
which is really bizarre.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So
What
they
the-
can't figure out exactly how she got in, or why her clothes were folded neatly there, or how
Yep.
she even got there in the first place. So it's kind of a mystery. But yeah, if you haven't done any research on the mystery of Elisa Lam at the Hotel Cecil, feel free to check it
Look
out.
that up.
That's wild.
Look it up.
For real. Give it
I
a
think they
give
have
it a look see.
like a
But yeah,
documentary,
1408.
a little shock documentary on it.
Yeah,
Shock doc.
1408
I like the sound of
definitely
that.
a good one, dude.
I've never heard that term. Shock doc.
Yeah, shock documentary.
Oh, that's great. I'm gonna say that for the next 5 to 10 days.
Quick group watch. I've got two. I just sent it to the group chat. Go
Right
ahead
on.
and check that out real quick.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, I'll be checking
What we
that
got?
out here in a little bit.
We got some homework.
But
No, just on what Matt was talking about there.
yeah.
Oh, the link for the Cecil.
No.
Or the- what's her name?
No. This is
No?
a thing on mirrors.
Oh, okay.
From Oculus.
Cool.
No, it's not with any movie at all. But,
No, I mean, you so I'm gonna go ahead and do my honorable mentions, if that's all right with y'all. If
Yep.
Matt, if you're done. Hello, Matt.
Yeah,
Ma-
I'm good.
Okay.
I could go on and on and on. So
All right, so I'll do my three because I only have three. So my first one is the 13 Ghosts remake. Has one of my favorite death scenes in a movie ever.
all right.
The glass.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say. If you've seen it, you know.
Oh yeah.
One of my absolute all-time favorite death scenes ever in a movie. I love that scene. It is one of my favorites, and I would be remiss if I did not have that in my honorable mentions.
On that note, I did like a lot of things they did with that movie, which is why I brought it up. Why we both brought it up, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But while you brought that up, though, I did love, without giving away too much, I did love what they did with the door.
Yeah.
There's a thing where they do with the door and they use it. I
Yep.
thought that was brilliant storytelling. But
Yep.
anyways, go ahead.
All right. Honorable mention: Stigmata.
Ooh, bro, that's me, dude. That's super
Wow.
spooky because I was gonna put that on my list, bro. Oh, that's.
Oh, that just reminded me of another
I'm not
movie
making
that
up.
came out
That's
right around the
crazy,
same time.
bro.
Stigmata, man. That movie.
Film, landmark film for the time when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're talking about religion and
Of course,
the
yeah.
way that it can affect the psyche, right?
Yeah.
Like that, it was groundbreaking,
Good choice.
right? And then my third one is the exorcism of Emily Rose.
Good one too. Good one too. Absolutely.
That one was a little that one was creepy to me. Like that
When
was.
he wakes up from sleeping.
I'm telling you.
It's just right there, bro. Bro. No. We got a misunderstanding here. We don't. Listen.
Yeah,
No,
I can't
no
watch that
late
video.
Night, no late night yoga. None of that. No.
Yeah, no, let's not do that.
You can't watch what?
But yeah, no, those
The
are
video that was sent.
my three honorable
Oh, the
mentions.
link.
I had to bring
Yeah, it
them
just keeps on
into the
getting me to open and sends
conversation.
me to some other dumb shit.
Yeah, I had to bring those three into the conversation. I know that Nem, you had mentioned 13 Ghosts remake earlier,
Right,
but
very
I
good.
I had to I just had to mention that it has my all-time favorite death scene in that
Oh,
one,
absolutely. I hear you.
100%.
Is that the lawyer?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, the glass.
So good. That movie's great. That's another one I own, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I
It's
own
like
it
the
too.
movies
That
you
multiple
own.
times.
You own them. You know, it's a different vibe.
But yeah, those are my three. I loved them. And I you couldn't do a supernatural without having at least one of those three on there.
No, that's
Right.
fair for sure. Yeah, 100%.
So, Fan, your turn.
All right, cool. So my honorable mentions. All right, let's go back to when I was a kid. This movie came out. The Ring.
Nice.
Yes,
The Ring,
I'm
when
glad
that came
somebody
out.
brought it up.
Yeah.
I
The
wasn't
Ring,
bringing that
man.
one up. I
When that
wasn't.
one came out, dude, it was different. When you got a
That's
phone call.
that is literally the only movie that scared me, and it wasn't. It wasn't even because of the movie itself. It's because of what happened after the damn movie was over.
That's so funny. That's like gotta be one of the greatest stories I've heard about somebody who watched this movie. Go on.
So I watched it for the first time on DVD. Had my PlayStation 2 and was watching it in a motel room because me and my ex-wife were separated at the time, and I was living in a motel. And I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm going through the menu, and I find the Easter egg that is the film within the film, right? And I watched it through its entirety. Watched it through its entirety.
Yeah.
And as soon as it was over, I'm sorry?
I was talking to them.
Oh. I'm not.
Keep going.
Okay. As soon as it was over, everything kicked off. The TV, the PlayStation, and my phone rang all at the same time.
That's some crazy energy, dude.
Like, dude.
Yeah, I have a slightly similar story.
Like, that was like, I booked it out of there. I didn't even grab my phone. I just left. I jumped in my car and drove.
I saw it in the theater. My wife and I went and watched it in the theater, and literally as soon as we walked in the door at home, the phone started ringing, and I was like, "Yeah, nope, I'm not answering that."
Right. So you think different about the phone.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, not right as soon as I get home after watching that movie. Nope.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, everything cut. My PlayStation 2 cut off, my TV cut off, and my phone rang at the same damn time, and I was just like, nope, see ya.
Right.
Like,
that's crazy. Yeah, I've had some eerie experiences.
Side, you know.
Yep. You live to see another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ring was my number one. Number two, Needful Things.
Ooh, good one. I like it.
Another one. Another Stephen King. That is nice.
That was like another like people getting all twisted up. Like what a guy like malevolent guy just chilling in the back, puppet mastering people.
In my opinion, the best of Stephen King's books.
Yeah, I'd agree
with
that.
The Pathogen Queen.
Alright, that sucks.
Yes, I would agree with you on that one, Matt. Close damn second.
Yeah, it's really good. Like it's up there, but it's like it saw its shine. It's just like this is one of those ones that didn't see the type of shine that it saw.
Right. No, and that's fair. Just like the Dark Tower. Dark Tower also got a huge, a huge following. But Needful Things is one of those ones that really didn't get a whole lot of attention. The book or the
Leland
movie.
Gaunt. Leyland Gaunt.
So,
Yeah, dude, what a movie.
Calm down.
Then number 3 is the first Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead.
okay.
I got to the end of the list. It's like, oh man, how
Yeah,
have I
they
not
fucked
put
me
this
over,
on here?
dude. I'm getting acid damage due to ammo. I can't get shit. dude.
It's funny.
Dead.
It's funny because Ash was at Target before I even knew what the fuck a Target was.
That's awesome. Yep, those are my 3.
I gotta get Alpha.
Nice.
Oh shit! Back up.
So,
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't think I have time to
went
get in
down.
another match.
yeah, I really don't either. I got.
I can kick for a little
We're gonna
bit.
need
Like,
3
what are
of
you
us
saying?
for
What are you
that.
saying? Like 10, 20 minutes still?
Well, me, I'm gonna have to bounce here in about 5 or 6. Just because I got some things that I'm doing tomorrow. Got some Dungeons and Dragons, so I gotta come up with my story for that.
Gotta polish his
Fun.
dice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is that what he's calling it nowadays?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah. Couple extra shakes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Give me a
D&D.
nat 20.
Yeah, give me that nat 20.
If only I could be so heavy-handed, you know what I mean? Just nail it, bro. Great.
That's great.
Critical hit.
Now
Critical hit.
I'm gonna ask my phone to roll a dice for me.
Critical
So,
hit.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, as always, though, guys, it's always a blast when we get on here to do this.
I look forward to this.
For real, I do. And
Yeah,
it's
same.
actually gotten me into watching scary movies again. It's gotten me watching horror again, and I've missed watching horror. I've missed
Yeah.
it.
In you all the time. You just needed the little push.
I've missed it. I love the horror genre. Sci-fi, fantasy, horror. Those are my go-tos. And
Yeah, those are good ones.
it all started because of, and this is going to sound weird, but my love of horror started when I was about 8 years old, watching a miniseries called V.
That's so
Me?
weird. That's just so weird.
Why is that weird?
I don't know, because you said it was going to be weird.
It is weird.
Yeah,
because,
so it is weird.
because here's the thing.
Why
It's
are you
about
asking me?
aliens. It's about aliens that come to Earth and use humans as food, right? It's not even. It wasn't even really a horror, but it's what got me started on my.
Lizard people.
I'm sorry.
It's lizard people
But it's. I mean.
eating
Those
rats.
people are scary too, bro. Come on. Yeah.
It's lizard people eating rats.
It was my introduction to Michael Ironside and Robert Englund.
David Icke?
Like,
It's
just
funny
so
till you
weird.
find out they're living among us in the ocean, you know what
yeah, I
I mean?
know, right?
For real. Pull a David
That's a
Icke.
whole nother story for a different day, but it's in there. In the Discord, I'm telling you now.
But yeah, I mean that's what got me started on my love of horror, watching that. Like, it was great. And then when I found
Apparently
out,
I was taken to Alien when I was really young, so I guess that might have sparked my love of horror.
I mean, V came out in like '84.
I'm talking in the theater. I was taken to Alien, the first Alien, in the theater.
Oh, in '79?
Yeah, I was 3.
God damn, dude.
Yeah, it made me scared to go to the bathroom because apparently I thought that there was something that was red that was going to jump out of the toilet and get me. What's crazy is that a friend of mine also had that same exact fear because his parents took him to see the movie in the theater. Like it traumatized us at that early age where because with the egg and the facehugger jumping out of it, we thought
Right.
something was going to jump out of the toilet.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
my first
That's
ever
awesome.
movie, the first ever movie that I saw in the theater, and I do remember this. I was 3 years old. It was it was Star Trek, the very first Star Trek film.
You remember watching Star Trek in the theater at 3?
Yeah, it was 1979, or was it Star Trek 2? It was one of the two Star Treks.
Yeah, well, Star Trek 2 it might have been made, but I don't think it was. That's 1979.
Oh, let's see.
Well, it looks like
Yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
squeeze Paranormal
Yeah,
Activity on there somewhere.
Star Trek the motion picture was 1979.
Captain
Yep.
Kirk.
Yep.
That was such a slow movie.
It really was, but my uncle
got
took me to
about-
see it, so
Looks like we got about 10 minutes left on the clock tops, and I might have to bounce. I gotta go pick up Batman soon.
but gentlemen, as always, it is a pleasure,
Yes, yes.
and I
Yes,
will
indeed.
see y'all. I'll see y'all next Saturday.
You know it.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta make sure we get together and decide what we want to do for next week. But then, yeah, we'll be having a blast, and we
For
gotta
real.
catch up on some AVP talk too, man.
Yeah,
Not to get
those type of
sidetracked,
things.
but we got the show coming up soon.
Yes.
Predators films.
Yep.
One
New
hit-
info.
One hitting the theater, one dropping online. So super excited about that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna get it locked in, man. You know what I'm saying? Final thoughts from anybody? Roundtable, Matt, what you got?
No, just for anyone who's watching, appreciate you taking the time out of your life to give us a watch. Hopefully, you guys came away with this with some new movies that you want to go check out, that you're going to fall in love with, that are going to terrify you, give you the chills, make you feel all sorts of good, and satisfy your love of horror. So thank you all, and we'll catch you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
Hell yeah. Well put.
Next up, Wes, what you got?
Well, I'm just glad to be here, man. Like, this is one of my favorite new things to do. You know?
We appreciate you being
I'm
here,
just
man.
glad to
Going
be.
out.
I'm just glad to be here.
I'm just happy to be
For
here,
real.
man.
Freaking Galaxy
Yeah, no.
Quest right there, man.
This is like getting like all the best, like I respect all of your guys' opinions on this genre and all the subgenres and all that. So I've always got the utmost respect for y'all's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like
Especially
I said, at the end of the day,
for,
it's just a conversation, man. You're good, you know.
Yeah. So like I always could have a takeaway myself. And then it's the opportunity to be able to share my own opinions about these movies and how they affected me, and maybe that could persuade somebody to be like, hey, maybe I should give this a shot. You
Yeah,
know,
you know, it's
take
like I-
take the time out of my
Absolutely,
day.
man.
As we get through this, you know, we're always going to have thoughts and we're going to reflect on things, you know. And I encourage you guys, just as much as I do the community, to checking these VODs out now or checking us out live. If you got questions or comments, drop them in the chat, drop them in the VODs whenever you're leaving a question or a comment. You know what I mean? Well, hopefully we'll be able to get back to you and we'll start to build a conversation with you guys and really be able to build, like I said, a continuous log and library of horror knowledge here. You know, we want to make sure and help everybody feel like they're welcome and included in the conversation for
Mhm.
sure.
Absolutely.
To have
Final
the
thoughts,
access.
So, again, House of Mar, thank you for joining us on this journey. We are extremely grateful for everybody that does come in and participates. Not just watching us play the video games, but also in the chat discussing these movies with us and stuff like that. We do appreciate you. And again, ITP 5x5 up on YouTube. You can definitely check that out.
5x5.
That VOD does come up about 2-3 hours after I'm done streaming. They gotta verify it, make sure that it doesn't violate anything or anything like that. So, but usually it's up like no more than 6 hours after we finish. So you can definitely check it out.
Pretty quick. They handle their business pretty quick. That's definitely the best way to catch it, though. Make sure you hit up that YouTube first. Check it out, ITP 5x5, Talon Steel. Check them out on the YouTube. Make sure you check it out that VOD.
Yeah.
And as long as we don't have any technical technical difficulties, we should be good to go.
All that ironed out. We should be good to go on that,
Right. Because I mean, as long as my PlayStation doesn't decide to just overheat and die on me again.
Never that. It's a Sony product, sir. They never fail. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I'm grateful. Nam, thank you for allowing you to show, allowing me to be on your show. Because I mean, you're the man. When it comes to this stuff, you are the man.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
I second that.
You guys are number one in the community. I appreciate you. We've got a lot of support from a lot of people outside the community that have managed to come in and stop by, and I appreciate that. You guys have been here so far. Like I said, this is volume 4. I'm having a blast doing it. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Just like any other team, you know what I'm saying? It takes a village. You guys all kind of have your own role in the game and the task that we have at hand here to be discussing horror. And you all bring something to the table, man. It makes for a very vibrant conversation. I enjoy having it. It's been a blast doing it, you know what I mean? So give everybody else a chance to come in and stop by, hang out with us, you know what I'm saying? Enjoy
yes, sir.
But we have a chance to do them.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's something I'm definitely enjoying, and I hope y'all are enjoying it too. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen,
have a good one.
Have yourselves a good night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. That's a wrap, guys.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap, yeah.
That's going to be formally the end of the show. Now we just shooting the shit. Anything you hear now is outside the box, outside the gate. So far, still listening. I can't protect everybody.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
You do the same, man. Travel safe. Rest well. We'll catch you next time.
Yes, sir.
All right, peace.
Peace.